Nordique, c'est mon équipe de hockey. Hey, toujours prêt à scorer. Me voici en live. Bébé la joie. Bonjour, bande d'amis, de fans de hockey. On est dans mon account. On est dans mon account des Nordiques. Comment que c'est les Nordiques? Puis là, ben, on va grinder aujourd'hui. Attendez, quelle date qu'on est? On est le 17. Le 17, mercredi le 17 septembre 2025. Midi 38. Donc, pour vous situer dans le temps, là, c'est important d'être situé dans le temps, là. T'entends le temps que j'ai dit qu'on était? Fait que là, je vais grinder, je vais mettre le podcast en background. On peut jaser si vous voulez, je suis toujours par terme. Abonnez-vous, mettez un thumbs up, c'est bon pour le channel. Et plus qu'on est motivé, plus qu'on fait de contenu. Même si on en fait déjà beaucoup, on sait qu'on est très ouvert à être ouvert. Hein? Fait que, let's go, guys! The Laps Fan Podcast. Je recommande à ce podcast à tout le monde en passant. The Laps Fan.
Not here.
No, oh, you're home today. I get it.
Brother, I'm out of the house. I'm inside my house. It's turned
the stoop. The stoop.
Once I get off the stoop, brother,
Cross the threshold, brother.
So, I don't know how much longer I'm going to fucking explain this to you, Ruth.
I'm so sick of it. And I don't blame him.
Just stop being a bitch.
She'd stay indoors and run the air conditioner all day while my dad stayed out in the backyard from sunup to sundown. They found a way to make their marriage work in that tiny house. No money at all.
Yeah, they were fucking off.
They walled themselves off from each other.
She was inside and he was outside.
They were on the same property, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Now part of him was there forever in those trees, and made him so proud, while the rest of him had scattered out in the Gulf of Mexico, knowing how much he almost loved the water. I felt sick to my stomach as I got back in the car. I wanted to stay lost in happy childhood memories forever. There had to be some way that we could be happy again. There just had to be. As the 60s progressed, suddenly Hulk Hogan goes from appearing in the local press for his Little League exploits, appearing in the local press for his musical exploits. Before he's even out of high school, if you can open up what I just sent you, boss.
Oh boy.
1969, to be exact, we get the first whiff in the Tampa area newspapers that Hulk Hogan is now a bassist. Hulk Hogan is now a music man.
It's funny, he's a bassist and he's a racist. What do you know?
They do rhyme.
Which,
Bradenton, brother.
Bradenton. Which article? It's a whole page of things.
Right off to the left there, Infinity's End. You see Hulk Hogan's face right there. Look at
Oh,
it.
I see it. There it is, yeah.
The band is called Infinity's End.
New Infinity's End will flourish big for Manatee County youth. The new Infinity's End will furnish the big beat for dancing at the Youth Center of Manatee County from 8 to 11 o'clock this Saturday night. One word describes the new look and sound of Infinity's End. Big. Big look of this Tampa group means 5, playing bass guitar, trumpet, drums, lead guitar, organ, and lead singer. The big look means light black strobe on the beat.
Strobe, I think.
Yeah, strobe, without an E on the beat, and psychedelic slides. Okay. The big sound means more music power with bigger amps. And the up-to-date songs of Iron Butterfly, Fudge, Cream, Creedence Clearwater, along with current pop and the rock generation favorites of the Rascals and others. It all adds up to a big happening for all who can make it at the Youth Center of Manatee County. Chet Yoakum is the lead singer. Mike Barris, bass guitar and trumpet, Terry Balea, lead guitar, John Phillips, drums, and Gary Barris on organ and guitar are the boys that are behind the big looking sound. Gate fee will be 50 cents for members and $1 for out-of-county guests. Dress will be casual with no bare feet, see-throughs, cutoffs, or short shorts being allowed. No one may leave the building before the closing hour of 11 p.m.
No one may leave the building. That can't be legal.
It's not no one can enter after a certain time. No one.
So much for the Constitution.
Freedoms are
Curtailed.
curtailed here at the youth center. Students who have passed from the 7th grades into the 8th grades, the multiple 7th grades, and the multiple 8th grades are eligible to attend the center, and membership is offered to these students at a reduced price of $1. Membership cards will expire October 1st. Chaperones are needed at the center, and parents are asked with 2 S's, by the way.
As kissed.
Also, chaperones with no E, chaperones, are students at the center, and parents are asked to contact the chaperone chairman, Mrs. Matthew H. Brown, or Mrs. Jeanette Hyder, director.
Hey, Grace.
Oh my God, that's so great.
Look at him.
Infinity's End.
What do you see? You still see the big-headed oaf, or is he becoming something cooler?
No, he looks a little more mature. He looks a little more. I mean, his hair is still inappropriate, but he's, he looks a little. He looks like a teenager. But it's really amazing to me how round his face really is. He does not have a round face. You think of Hulk Hogan. Square jaw.
Absolutely true. So the narrative's starting to shift on the lanes Hulk Hogan, or Terry Balea, we should say still, is traveling in, and now he's picking up the guitar and he's making his way into the clubs. And it's there that he starts to get noticed by professional wrestlers in and around Florida.
It's funny. It's funny because
for his size by others who are involved with also some trouble with manipulation for this. That's what they talk about. Some serious. See that it's already some matches. And in his book, Ed Leslie recalls this. When my sister was done torturing me, we finally made it to the sportatorium. She was bullying him as aggressively. But she was kind enough to take him to the matches when he asked her. I remember stepping out of the car, slightly dizzy and slamming the door. I ran to the now long line of people in front of me and started counting them in my head, trying to do the math to see if I would get in. As I was counting people, I noticed that one head near my spotted line was sticking up way above the rest. I recognized that head. I had seen it some sitting at the
Welcome to some Hockey Ultimate Team action here on EA Sports. I'm James Savalsky, and these are a couple of fun squads. I'm looking forward to this.
Terry was bigger than
both teams are lined up, and we are set to get things going.
10 eggs, pound of hamburger meat.
The Avalanche have established possession here early in this one as they win the draw.
At this point, Terry was probably about 19.
And he takes a shot.
Larson graduated from
What a chance there!
driving.
Well, it almost looked like he converted a quick release shot. He had no time or space, but unable to put it by.
Seeing in a person for a young guy like me,
coming up.
like Jesse's brother, I even more so wanted than Terry. Walked up to him. He was much taller than I.
Whistle blown, stopping the play. The Avs are off to the box. Interference the call.
Now,
It should be an interference call, and trust me, James, I know what he's trying to do here. You're trying to slow up your opponent, give your team opportunity to get to that puck first, but he holds on.
Jokes.
I know that he doesn't panic when he's in on the goaltender here, James. He's patient and waits to see what he's given and takes it.
As we waited, I admitted that I was like,
Puck is grabbed here at center ice by Roenick. Pass it through.
You're going to talk to me. I need to know what you know. It's all real, dude.
You know it's work, right, dude?
Oh my god, just fucking crushing it right away. What a thing. And it's the senior in high school Terry. You want to see right there. Every new beginning comes from some other infinity's end, but I'm very important.
And they win that
Waited, I told him I admitted that I was like watching the play. I like the way he just kicked everyone's ass and then went there and said, listen,
Takes
like
the feed from the left side.
we talked more about baseball and then that's my favorite wrestling stories. Conversations cut short.
Now he was right on that puck. He knew exactly where it was. It was tight to the crease. He got it and challenged right away to make the save.
Takes a shot. Oh, looked like he had the corner, but he puts it off the side of the net. And that's poked away by McSorley. Handles the puck at the point.
Well, the man in the circle of popular and cool kids that I was thinking more about that than the actual matches. Next morning, I rolled up on the beach around 10 a.m.
Unit might welcome being back in even strength after giving up a short-handed goal in that power play. Oh, that changed directions, and he still got in front of it. They are really busting here in the offensive end.
They got there at 8 or 9 a.m. Sorry, brother, he said, got an early start. Why don't you come back next week, same time, here around 10. Okay, no problem, I said. Happy he was talking to me. The next week came, deja vu, all over again. Same scene, same story. I got there just as they were leaving. I must have fallen from that scene 5 or 6 times.
Here they go the other way.
I realized
the
they were just
Avs
messing
gain
with the
control
young
the puck
kid.
against the wall.
You see, Terry and I have gone to the same high school, but he was 3 years older than I was.
He's got a step.
Just so at graduation time, I was 17. Terry in the circle.
This is all generated by his speed, James. He gets
was already
one
playing
stop
in a band,
on his opponent, and then
going
he comes
to
2-3, and then he's an open
There's
ice,
also
and he makes no mistakes.
Colorado's got possession of the puck after that neutral zone faceoff. Taken along the wall by Blake.
Its content is intended for private use only.
He was playing, he pitched in fact the other day. He I missed.
It's the Lapsed Fan Wrestling Podcast with Jack Nhl26 and JP.
Well, you gotta love the creativity, but Cheryl, I'm sure the coaching staff probably isn't gonna love it, right?
Yeah, it's a real great thing when you are able to pull off that flip pass, but when it doesn't work, sometimes it's a bit of the skate of shame.
Colorado's on the attack. Shot! He scores!
goaltenders use tracking exercises all the time, both on and off the ice. You can see the frustration after the goal as he's trying to find this. He's trying to out-battle, but he can't get a sight line, and it winds up in the back of the net.
Sends a pass in front, and that's deflected off someone in front. Denied by the goaltender. Back at the point, he set it up. Scores! And Denver's on their feet after that one. Colorado's offense is shining bright tonight. Everything they put on net seems to find the back of it. And they lead it late in the first. Slides the puck over. Oh, what a move to get by there. Oh, look at this. First period is in the books. The next 20 minutes is on deck next here on EA Sports. The Crunch have made the decision during the intermission that they're changing their goal.
There's Terry in the background. Passing.
Set to get underway here in the second period. We'll see if they can stop the bleeding. We've played a period here, Cheryl, and we've had an intermission to collect our thoughts. What do you make of what you've seen?
The Avs generated a ton of offense in that opening frame, James. They managed the puck, and they were rewarded because they executed with that puck possession time.
Proud to tell folks here.
Colorado's got the puck along the wall. And he takes the feed. And that shot dies in traffic. Picked up along the wall by Hannon. He's on. He scores! Off the pipe and bulging the twine.
Well, it's a game of inches, isn't it? And this time, those inches that work in his favor, they go right into the net.
Oh, we got some tired defenders as icing is the call. Colorado's had the better scoring opportunities and lots of them, which is why they lead in a big way here in the second.
That's awesome.
The Guards won it off the faceoff. So much time in practice working on D-zone faceoffs, and this is exactly why coming off an icing, you win it, and
the Avalanche have been on track mode since the moment the puck dropped to start this one, and it continues here in the second.
Yeah, they've got a huge lead right now, and it's because of the way they're playing it. They're aggressive, they're owning the shot share, but more importantly, you know what the coach is going to be talking to you about right now? That goose egg on their end. I mean, not giving up a lot of chances. Goaltenders to task. Now it's about protecting that as well.
Say brother back then, I guess.
Colorado's got the decided edge in the shot department here tonight in the second period, and they continue to lead.
And I know a lot of people said, well, you know...
And they'll start with possession. Passes it over! The Crunch have the puck in the defensive zone. Oh, great move to sidestep the check. Makes his presence known on the ice. And now it's grabbed by Leach. Moves the puck across to Beniers. Moves the pass in front. Oh, and he comes up with a stop. And he slides it quickly to Laine. Trying to shake loose. Great save. The Avs going to work on offense. He scores!
Well, he's one of those players that's known for putting his work boots on, isn't he? He's not afraid to get tough and dirty, and this time he's laying on the body. And that turnover, it results in a goal. He's not going to get it credited with a point here, but everyone on that bench knows exactly where that play started.
Shakes loose. On a big-time save on a big-time shot. Shot! Too many bodies in the way. McLean's exploring options with the puck. Oh, how did he get a piece of that? Here's a short pass to Toffoli. Fires it on net. Oh, and he comes up with a big shot there.
Well, I've said it quiet night, James. You've been watching most of the game from the other end because of the offensive nature of his team tonight. But man, does he make a nice save there, and that's showing that he's emotionally engaged. He's staying prepared even though he hasn't been busy.
Very smart state to school. Very smart. Very good athlete, very good baseball player. Maybe all-star team is one great.
May, right?
Teams are readying themselves at center ice as the third period is about to go. Third period underway here. This has been a total squash to this point. All right, let's get Cheryl Pounder back into the mix here. 2 periods down, 1 to go. How do you sum up what you've seen?
Colorado's been terrific through 40 minutes of play, but you know the coach is going to be preaching that full 60 minutes to be consistent and see it right.
So look who's at it again.
Well, it's the second of the game. Too bad you can't bundle these games up and just recall them whenever you want because he's been all around the net. These are the types of plays in the game that you don't get often, so you have to make good on them, and they do exactly that, James. They utilize the space they're given, they have the numbers, and they make their opponent pay.
Across the line and on the attack. Here's a shot. Oh, great kick save. Moves it quickly over to Beniers. Hammers a shot, and that's blocked away. Colorado's got a hold of the puck. They've got numbers here. Quick shot. Oh, gets a little piece of it and keeps it out of the net. And another stop.
Truly, he's been outstanding, tracking pucks and making huge saves like that one right there, right from the slot.
Cuts to the paint. Sensational stop with the stick. Bourdois. And does it again.
Man, is he ever quick on his feet, anticipating the play. Excellent reflexes. He's saving his team right now.
Line A's going to play it against the half wall. Long jam in front. That's broken up. And a great save.
Colorado's top line is going to come on the ice, and there's no coaching decision to be made here. I mean, they've been so effective. They contributed, and they're the reason why they're in the lead.
Puck scooped up by McLean. Taken by Sutter. Cutting to the slot. Oh, denies them with the paddle save.
Great positioning by the goaltender to redirect it to the corner, getting it out of danger.
The Avs move the puck in the defensive zone. Through center. Takes the pass from the left wing. On the attack along the boards. And they'll be forced to regroup as the puck escapes the offensive end. Under a minute to go in the third. And now he moves it quickly to Roenick. And he catches that one with the glove. Nice feed from the goaltender. Roenick's crossed the line and gained the zone. Fires it. Comes up with the stop. Big time stop there.
That's an incredible sequence of saves. He is so dialed in, but I gotta say, where are the D-boxing out?
Down the left wing and into the offensive zone. Makes the save. Well, listen to this place here tonight. They got their money's worth, and these fans are on their feet saluting. A job well done by the home team tonight. And there it is. This one's all over. They look pretty dialed in between the fights. Cheryl picking up that shutout.
Yeah, and it was a tough one as well. A lot of shots came his way, but really aggressive. Got to the top of his crease. Excellent job.
Yeah, that's down the floor and the lost the time. Now, wasn't she? I think she was hired.
Yeah, Moody. Yeah, I remember her parents, Reggie and Paul Moody. I mean, like I say, Terry and I, we did everything together. So his parents and my parents, you know, I'd spend time at his house, he'd spend time at my house. I got to know his grandparents on his mother's side, and I also met his grandmother on his father's side. She came down from New Hampshire. His grandfather on his father's side died in 1960, so that was before I met Terry. Yeah, Pete, Terry's father was just the sweetest gentleman you'd ever know. Construction worker, very smart man, but just a hard-working, gentle soul. And really, like I said, like a second father to me.
Sure. Terry talks in his book about the neighborhood as being called, if I'm not mistaken, SOG, South of Candy. Does that sound right?
Yeah, SOG. Yeah, that's what they call it. SOG. Yeah, South of Candy. We were 2 blocks south of Candy. He was right off the Go, and I was right off the 6th Street, Paul Avenue.
So what's the rep? What does that mean? The SOG. What kind of neighborhood is that?
Well, it was just a middle income neighborhood. It wasn't real poor, but it wasn't rich by any stretch. We got a new bike at Christmas time. That was a big thing. And I remember I saw a thing in a magazine that we could get. Christmas was coming up, and I said to my mother, of course, she said to Ruth, they had these Bell & Howell Super 8mm cameras, and also the projector and screen. And Terry's aunt, her name was Debbie, and she would come down each year and film things. They had films from the 8mm movies from up in New Hampshire and all over. They lived in Baltimore, and so we got to see those movies. In fact, I've got copies of all that stuff.
Wow.
And a lot of this video you see on kind of stuff that I have, and I've got them all on DVD now. So.
That's awesome. That's incredible. What was the dynamic like with Alan? Because Terry talked a lot about what ended up happening with Alan. We were reading all about it. As he had all his troubles in Tampa and what happened to his ex-wife. Was Alan the Alan you knew, wild man? Like how would you? What are your key memories?
With me, Alan was always very nice, very respectful to my parents, very respectful to me. Never picked on me at all. But I knew as he got older, he drank, he would get pretty wild. I know he, most people have heard of John Matusak, played with the Oakland Raiders.
Of course.
John Matusak, Terry was playing in the band, and there's a place called the Islands Club on Davis Island. Well, there's Terry, 6'7", he's up there playing in the band, and he's looking out over the crowd, and Matusak was playing at the University of Tampa at the time in college, and #1 draft pick. And anyway, Matusak was 6'9" and had this big afro, right? And so Terry said he's up there playing in the band. He looks out in the crowd. He sees Matusak out there towering over everybody. And he looks and he sees his brother Alan. And Alan was like a bone brawler. I mean, he was a bad hombre. And he said to himself, he said, I'm thinking, if the two of them go at it, I'm going to drop my guitar and jump in on my brother's side. So sure enough, he looks out there and he goes, wow. And there's Alan and Matusak going at it. He goes to drop the guitar, and about 4 guys are trying to pull his brother off Matusak. He was just pounding Matusak. He finished 4th in the world in the arm wrestling contest in Paloma, California. So I never lifted a weight in his life.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, well, not all kinds, but there is publicity of California papers about, Hulk Hogan's brother. Because Terry tells a story that his brother first stopped off in Texas and maybe even changed his name. So there's like this gap where you don't really see much of Alan, and then when Hulk becomes the television superstar in the mid-'80s, of course, the papers are like, this guy's Hulk Hogan's brother, that's amazing. But he had that in-between time, I guess, where he became a totally different person.
Yeah, Alan, I remember, Alan used to, like to ride motorcycles, and so did Terry end up liking to ride motorcycles also. But Alan was a pretty tough biker, and Terry told me he goes out to, he's wrestling in L.A., and he said he gets a note from a security guard that Alan wants to come in. And the security guard says, Terry, this guy wants to come in and meet with you. And he said, okay, he saw it was Alan's handwriting, it was Alan. He said, let him in. So he lets him in, he kept like 2 or 3 of his buddies. And by then, Terry's 6'7", 3 1/4. And Alan starts to get him a little, pass him. And he looked at Alan and said, hey, Alan, not going to happen anymore, brother. And Alan just kind of backed off and kind of teared up, And, but he was in pretty bad health by then. Died at 38 years old. And, in fact, after he died, the Inquirer called me. A guy from the Inquirer called me. He saw magazine articles and things, and asked me about Alan Malay. And I said, that's when Terry was wrestling against Andre, and right at that time. And I said, I don't know who Alan Malay is. I just played stupid. I didn't want to talk about it.
Sure. Well, it's funny you say that because we were looking at an article, I think it was 89. There was a paper, I think out of Georgia, maybe in the Atlanta Constitution, I don't know what it was. But they knew that Terry grew up Terry was born technically in Augusta. So they wanted to do this piece about, how Hulk Hogan, the big superstar actually has Georgia roots. And the reporter mentioned that he called WWF, and their spokesperson said, if you're going to get into any of its actual real-life background, we're not going to talk to you. It seemed like there was kind of like a thing, let's keep this Hulk Hogan guy as mysterious as possible for a while.
Yeah. Alex,
Hi, everybody. James Cebulski back for EA Sports. Look at these rosters. They're absolutely stacked. Let's see what's in store for this Hunt matchup.
But there was no hospital, so we're delivered Thursday.
And we are about set to drop the puck on this one.
Really, he just grew up in Augusta. He's never lived it. Really.
The Wolves win the opening face-off, and we are underway with this one. Here's a shot. Gets him. He's about to make the save.
Well, he's got great rebound control and just pushes that out of harm's way.
Takes a shot and makes the save.
Well, Johnny was Johnny, and he said, wrestling the ring is really tough. This type of shirt,
Delayed penalty coming up here by the official. There's the whistle, and here's the call. The Wolves will be forced to serve 2 minutes for cross-checking.
This is an easy and obvious call to make. I mean, the official's right there, James. What are you doing? You're going to extend your arms away from your body. You're going to sit for 2 minutes.
Trying to unfold this thing. He just reached in and punched this guy, and the guy's
the Avs will have a chance to get on the power play for the first time this evening.
An opportunity here to go up by 1 on the power play. You know they worked on this in practice. It's something you do, your repetitions. This is what prepares you to be big in these moments.
Chicago's body way on the step here. He's in a line. What a finish on the breakaway.
A nice play to pull away from the back here, James. One-on-one battle against the goaltender, and he's the victor. What a counter-attack and brilliant speed to get on his horse and get in on the breakaway, James. And that momentum, it carries right through on his shot, and he puts it home.
I don't know if he was nervous. Yeah, we did that to Johnny.
The Wolves get on the board here first. I'm not surprised, Cheryl. This team has been buzzing already.
Oh, they've been buzzing, but most importantly, James, they've been dialed in. You can see it in their intensity right from the puck drop and their first few strides all over the ice. They've been incredible to start this game.
But, yeah, he was kind of surprised because I guess he didn't know that Ruth had given that to the
ref's arms in the air. We got a penalty coming up. Whistle blows, stopping the play. Whitney's been given 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Up by 1, and you take a penalty, applying some pressure to the PK unit here as a power play has an opportunity to get the equalizer.
Yeah, how much your bank account?
The Avs could really open things up with a 5-on-3 power play.
Well, they earned this a power play, James, through hard work, and it's an opportunity to even the score here. They need to find a way to execute and get back to an even score.
Puts it in deep.
The temperature group in 1964, so he would have been, 11 years old. There's this column, and it just lists, like, civil action damages that have been issued.
He's trying to clear. Nolan's gaining momentum. And he sidesteps the check there.
Terry Bollea et al., meaning him.
Moves with the puck at the corner. Lets it fly. Stopped by the goaltender. Goaltender covers up and will get a face-off. Well, lining up here for the face-off after a great shift there, Cheryl.
Yeah, in the offensive zone, they have all the momentum. Would be surprised to see a little stall at the face-off here to give their goaltender a little extra breather because he has been under siege, and you can see it on his face. He needs some rest.
The Avalanche have possession along the boards. From along the walls, they're gaining momentum. Through the neutral zone, moving the puck along the side.
That's why I'm asking.
Whitney's penalty is almost expired.
Power play expires, and they've got to be left shaking their heads as they fail to convert and serve up a shorthanded goal.
The expectation when you're on a power play is to score a goal, not give up one, James. This is a tough one to take for this group.
His father being the coach of the All-Star team. I think Lou led the league. I do remember
from the defensive zone, they move the puck around.
I played on the Red Wing Carrier Indians. And team wasn't very good. Jerry's team wasn't very good.
The Avs gain possession along the wall. The Wolves look to start the transition game. He got all of that hit. Puck grabbed by Larionov. Oh, he's going to feel that the rest of the game. They are wearing down their opponents with hits like that. He scores! And someone's heating up with his second of the night.
Yeah, I expect that he's going to be looking for the Hattie because he's been all around the paint tonight, James, just showing off his skill set.
Here in the late goings of the period, Chicago's got a 2-goal lead. They'd love to build on it. And he passes it up ahead to McLean. And they'll go the other way with a great play by Matone. Puck picked up by Roger. Chicago's got it along the wall. And he loses control here.
I said, okay, so I'm going to try and throw one outside just to see, don't throw it over the plate, just throw it outside. I tried throwing a curveball outside.
And that concludes the first 20 minutes of play. Second period action. Stick around. We are about ready to get underway here for the second period. Second frame is underway as the puck is dropped. All right, Cheryl, we've seen already one period played in this one. How do you assess this?
The Avs and the whole teams recognize that you have to capitalize when you have the opportunity, in particular on specialty teams. It's why you work on them so often in practice. They got to get someone in front of the net and drive it.
Oh, he saved it! Oh, my goodness, what a stop!
Oh, that's unbelievable, James. I have no idea how he got to that puck. It's some gymnastics at its finest.
Oh, and he lays out to block that, and that'll earn some respect amongst his peers. From center, they get into the attacking area. Oh, what a stop on the play. Here he is, wristed on net. Oh, and he skips into the line of fire and blocks that. Nearing the point. Beautiful 360 with the puck. Denied on the play. Whoa!
Oh, you don't practice that one in goalie sessions, James. You just have to have fight and compete to get to that puck. He has all of it, and he makes the save. The goaltender, they have to have talent, they have to have mobility, they have to be able to track the puck, but they have to have a willingness to find it and fight for any second shot, and that's exactly what happens here. Out-battling, out-willing, and you make the save.
Grabbed along the boards by Leach. McLean's got the puck through the neutral zone. The Avs looking against the half wall. Big save by the goaltender watching that one.
As a goaltender, you have to be able to read and anticipate the play. He does it perfectly and is able to negate the shot.
Inside the offensive zone. Here's a pass to the middle. It scores! What an opportunity, and delivers!
And I go about 5 to his mom, but when Dixie did
Well, they gain the advantage through the neutral zone here, James, and they're able to enter with an odd man rush. And I love the way the puck carrier just manipulates their opponent to open up seams. They have the extra ice, they have the extra player, and they finish.
Moves inside! He scores! Tie game!
Well, you can't worry about what happened in the game, James. It's all about what you do now? Staying in the present, that's exactly what they've done, and they've got the equalizer.
The Avs have tied things up after that snipe, and this has been back and forth all night.
Yeah, I just love it, James. And they put themselves in a good position here as they get the equalizer nearing the end of the second. They'll have a lot to talk about in the intermission heading into the third.
Made the stop on that play. And he sends it across to Granato. Takes the return feed. And tries to make a diagonal pass to Matteau. Play blown dead. Let's get the call. Chara's going off for interference.
A tight game at the end of a period and you take a penalty. The PKers have to come up huge and get you to the intermission.
Chicago sending their power play unit out for the first time tonight.
Well, everyone's fresh as they come out for their first power play of the game. They're going to have to find a way to really manipulate the
A short-handed breakaway. He scores! Oh, wow, what a finish!
Well, I love that he used his speed and didn't slow down, James. And then it's all about patience and composure, outweighing the goaltender, finding the room and burying it.
The Avs win the draw. Now over to Nolan. And the middle frame almost done. Puts a little mustard on the hit to knock the puck loose. The Avalanche have taken possession along the wall. And just got a piece of it to keep it out. And now it's grabbed by McLean. And that caroms off a body in traffic. Forces the turnover. The Avs gain possession. Scooped up along the wall by Iafrate. Here's a shot. 9 seconds and he makes the save. 40 minutes down. Still another 20 to go here in this one. Join us for period number 3. Next. Welcome back to EA Sports, your home for all things hockey. Sabalski, Pounder, and here comes the third. The Avs win the draw here as play resumes with the period now underway, and just a few seconds remain on this penalty kill. The Wolves certainly didn't get the result they wanted on that. Scores! And that's 4 in a row, and they are rolling tonight.
Well, the whole bench is rolling. Why? Because they're all getting goals and apples. Pat the stats tonight. You can feel the energy as they're all standing up. They've gotten 4 in a row.
Shakes off the coverage. You'll need more than that to beat him.
Let's have a look at that last hit. I mean, that was absolutely huge, James. You know that this is a momentum changer. You can see the bench here.
Fermé cette veste pendant que ça jouait. Maxine vient de me coller un peu.
Picked up along the boards by Stastny. All alone! Oh, wow, what a save!
An unbelievable save there, James. I mean, a combination of technical skill and athleticism equals desperation. Outstanding. I always say, to be great, you have to get uncomfortable. As we look at this last save, this looks uncomfortable. Stretching your body, finding a way to make yourself as big as possible to get to the save. That's what he did, and that's why the save was made. McLean's looking to complete the hat-trick. He's got 2 in the game. He's looking for his third.
Puck scooped up by Solani. The Wolves are in transition. The Avs get a hold of the puck along the boards. Chicago's got control of it now from their own end. Scoops up the puck here. The Avalanche have gained possession off the wall. Playing big in the moment there. Save made by the goalie. Rogers got a hold of the puck behind the net. Slides it across. Oh, they telegraphed the pass and he picks it off. Sends the pass over. Rogers got it to the neutral zone. Takes a shot. That's gloved by Roy. The Avs will play it in their own end. Puts it on net, off the post.
The Avs are trying to put the game away, but unfortunately that one hits the post and comes out. And this is a tough one to take. You have the lead, you want to extend it, and you certainly don't want to give any life to your opponent.
Here's a shot. Redirected off one of his own line mates there. Quick pass to Nolan. Sends it out front. Off the stick, and they can't complete the play. Sends it ahead to Whitney. And he coughs it up with the pass. Taken by Nolan. Inside of the final minute here in the third. Let's move to the middle. And a new pass. And the puck is snagged and covered up for a whistle.
Celebrating his last chance. He's going to ring off the post here, James. He is frustrated, looking up at the stands, up at the sky right now. He can't believe he didn't put it in the net.
Line Ace won the draw. And that slides right out to center ice. Taken along the wall by Leach. And he slides it quickly to Nolan. Tries to get the puck over to Line A. Shot! Nice blocker save by Vernon. The Avs lead it late this third period. Offensive zone face-off, and he wins the draw. Great save with the stick.
Well, the shooter's in a coveted spot on the ice, right in the middle of it with a good look, and he makes an incredible save by getting square to the puck and turning it aside.
Shot! And he's able to handle that one.
Wow, James, I mean, not everyone can elicit a thunderous hit like that. I mean, he just clobbered his opponent.
Teams are ready for the draw. The linesman about to drop the puck. Pass back to the point. Denies him with a save. Slides it diagonally to Marshman. Oh, what a butt and one last save.
It's happened because of the standards.
I'll tell you what, James, that ain't incidental contact. That was intentional. Certainly trying to really drive that body and separate the player from puck.
Well, this one's all over but the formalities, so they'll drop the puck one last time. Final horn sounds, and we are all done with this one. The Avs come away with the win on a night that they looked like they were going to come away with the win. Honestly, Cheryl, they were good out there.
Yeah, and the game was tighter than it probably should have been. They certainly deserved the win. They had the numbers in their favor in terms of analytics and possession time. What I really liked is their support of the puck carrier, and that allowed them to hold it even longer. Poise and patience, James. That tells a story.
Great night of action on the ice, and I can't wait to do it again. I know you can't wait either, so we'll see you next time, and real soon at that.
And I started to move on to the next switch because I'm going to bowl. So that's all I did was bowl.
Love it.
And in fact, Terry watched me. I threw 50 strikes in a row. Terry watched me. He talked about that one of the folks. So he watched me throw 50 strikes in a row one day. And which is like back to back 300 minutes. But I was pretty young at that time. But anyway, Terry was playing lead guitar, and I quit the band. I didn't even get in the band. I quit before I was able to get into it. He started out playing in a band called Nhl26 Bae Nordiques, and then later on he started playing bass guitar. I was trying to play bass guitar. I quit that too. So, my parents would give me lessons, and I quit. So,
Yeah.
So, they always used to say in Little League, they said, well, if you're trying to practice, you know where he's at. He's at Panorama. You know he's bowling.
So, I love it.
That's the way I was at. So anyway.
So did his personality change as he became a band guy? Were you friends with him at that point?
Oh yeah. We stayed friends all along. I didn't hang out with him as much because he was a year ahead of me in school.
Right.
But he played in the band. I remember getting him a job out on the docks, on the shipping docks at Utica Cold Storage, for like $5 an hour, and he was a checker, and that's what I was too. The longshoremen were there; they were all black guys, and the checkers were usually white guys. And I got Terry a job. I knew the guy that was the head of this guy named Langston Duncan. He passed away now. So I talked to Duncan. I said, "Hey, you know, I got my buddy here. You think he?" He said, "Yeah, no problem." So he got him the job at Hewitt as a checker. And I heard Duncan played like. He had like 2 or 3 paychecks in his back pocket. He told me about it. I wasn't there. He told me, so threw it down on the ground. He looked at Duncan. He said, "If you're man enough, big man, go for it." And Duncan didn't move, and all the black guys were standing there going, "Ooh." Yeah, it was tough to bite him off real quick. And he said, "That's what I thought." He reached out, picked it back up, put it back in his wallet, and went back to checking the boxes. You know, so yeah, I remember Terry telling me about that, because Duncan was kind of he was a nice guy, but he could be boisterous at times.
A bragger, yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned how most of the guys on the docks were black, and got me thinking about, you know, when Terry went to that thing and they came around the neighborhood and they were like, because Terry had said something like Good Morning America, like where I grew up, we threw that word around. People were like, not really. What do you remember on that?
Well, I remember, so when we were on the docks, everybody threw it around.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, the black guys threw it around, but they knew there was no intent. There was nobody, you know, we had nothing against them. They had nothing against us. In high school, you know, my senior year was the first year that was forced busing, but we had a lot of black kids in Fort Tampa, which was just a little bit south of us. And we all went to school together. We all got along great. In my senior year, a lot of the kids from the other side of town came over, and that was another story, because Terry wasn't there then. And you'd see a white kid from South Tampa get into a fight with one of the kids from West Tampa, get into a fight, and you'd see a black kid from Port Tampa jumping on the white kid's side. Because they knew, you know, we all grew up together. We, you know, hung out. And, of course, a lot of the black kids from the base, you know, in the military. Their parents were in the military. So, you know, yeah, so Terry had black friends and everything else there. And I still have a very good friend that's black, you know, from my senior year. He knew Terry. He used to go to Terry's house and hang out, you know, so... Yeah, that thing about him being a racist, and that was a bunch of crap, you know. And that word was thrown around. Back in the day, it was different, you know. They'd say honky, we'd say, you know, the N-word, and,
I see.
You know, it's different.
Give it
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, cracker, all that.
Takes a shot, denies him on the play. And it's a quick pass to Blake. Puck is frozen, and we get a stoppage in play. More than half the frame has been played here.
Wrestling cast. You mentioned Kenny before, and I was curious how was he around frequently? Did you see his film? No, okay.
No, not very frequently. He came in to see Ruth, you know, it's his mother, people see, you know, his stepfather. He met his father down in the Panama Canal Zone. That's where he met Ruth. He was down in the Panama Canal Zone. Ruth was living down there. And he met her. He was working on the canal zone. And that's how the two of them got together. But she was already divorced, I guess, and had Kenny from a guy named Billy Wheeler. And so, yeah, Kenny ended up, I don't know if you knew that, he was a pilot during Vietnam and flew a lot of missions. I think he ended up becoming either a colonel or a general. I mean, he was a very nice guy. I liked him. But I don't know whatever happened with him and Terry. There's some things happened when Terry was making a lot of money, you know.
Yeah, Terry said in his second book that, you know, he hardly saw the guy, but then he hooked up with him one time, and he let him borrow like $5,000. And then from there, it was like, are you going to pay him back? And Ruth was like, are you going to pay him back? And he took that personally, and then never talked to me. I mean, that's the story he told me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I guess Cyndi Lauper, I guess she borrowed some money from him too. It didn't pay him, and he called her Cyndi Slopper, you know.
For that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he a ladies' man? I mean, I know he was awkward and weird and as far as physical proportions, but you know, then you hear about these girlfriends he had, and I don't know.
Well, he had a girlfriend, like his senior year, there was a girl named Brenda Woods. Her father was a manager of the Bulls Center on the base, and he dated her for a while, and then another girl named Debbie Smith, she lived down the street. But we were, you know, he and I both, we had crew cuts and we were short. Well, he wasn't short, but we were both fat. So we weren't real popular with the girls, you know. I never dated a girl all the way through high school.
There you go, yeah.
But, you know, I got out and I sprouted up and wasn't fat anymore, didn't have a crew cut. And it was, you know, game on at that point. So.
Oh, good man. He remembers Sherry Mashburn. You remember Sherry Mashburn?
Yeah, Sherry Mashburn, yeah. Her brother Steve died a few years ago. Yeah, they lived down on Bay Shore. She had a sister named Spooky Mashburn. She was Terry's grade. She was like the, not homecoming queen, she was like the night of nights queen. That was like the dance.
Yeah.
She was that queen. You know, she had long straight hair. We like girls with long straight hair, I remember.
That's for sure. Yeah, that bears out. He said he would ride
a few of them.
He said he would ride his bike to her house just to get a look at her. He was obsessed with her, I guess, when he was a kid.
Yeah, she was pretty. I remember him talking about her. She was a grade ahead of me, so I didn't know her, you know. But, yeah, I remember that.
Well, we've talked a bit about Pete, who, by the way, this is true, right? It was Pietro, really, his first name was Pietro. Yeah.
He was a junior. Yeah.
What was Ruth like? Just, you know, day to day. What were her characteristics? What kind of mom? You know, how was she with Terry?
Yeah, she was. You know, they didn't have to do much with Terry. You know, he was always smart in school, and he wasn't a troubled kid. You know, Alan was a little bit more of a problem than Terry was. And but Ruth was a stay-at-home mom. You know, she cooked. Of course, I ate there, and Terry came to my house, and we'd eat both places. That's how we got as heavy as we did, I guess. You know, and Ruth would get something like she used to get these little steaks and cook them, and of course then I'd get my mother to do the same, you know, and keep her cookies and the chocolate ice cream, the seal brand ice cream from Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. How on the food front, how hardcore was Peter as far as Italian? Did he have a vineyard? Did he have prosciutto hanging in the basement?
No, nothing like that. It was a small house.
A wheel of Romano somewhere in the basement? No, maybe?
No, I don't remember Pete really eating a lot of Italian food. I mean, I don't know. I remember he liked to drink his ale and liked to drink his sherry, you know, like a wine. And I remember Andre, of course, a lot of the restaurants, I saw him over eating Ruth. I'd sit there at the table with him in a little small kitchen. And I remember Bobby Heenan being in there, and Mean Gene, and all those different guys. And, yeah, I remember Andre, he came over, he was at Terry's house, and Andre had this wine, and Pete drinks really strong sherry. And Andre gave Pete some of his wine, and Pete couldn't even drink it. I mean, it was that strong. And he drank like a case of, you know. And, a lot of the guys didn't want to wrestle Andre because, you know, he'd get pretty well torn up, and, you know, he'd fall on them and hurt people, you know. Yeah, that wasn't in the plan. And in fact, if you watch that match with Terry when he body slams him, earlier in the match, he was planning on. He falls on. He was planning on pinning him, not pinning him, but slamming him earlier in the match. And Andre loses his balance and falls back on Terry.
Wow.
And so anyway, later on, Terry gets in the position, and then Andre puts his hand on Terry's thigh, and then, of course, then he can push him on over. You know? Yeah. Couldn't do it without them, you know.
Did Terry talk about that slam as, like, did he suffer any injuries when he slammed Andre?
He did, yeah. He screwed up his back, and he ripped his back muscle, and I think his probably a deltoid or something, or his bicep. Yeah, he really messed himself up there. But I remember the first time they ever wrestled Andre was in a battle royal over St. Pete. Curry was just getting into wrestling. And they got him in like a 12-man battle royal. He said he jumped up on Andre's back. He said, I felt like the fly on the elephant's back. He said, wow. He flicked me off like a fly. And that was pretty wild.
He had a very short-lived introductory tenure in wrestling before he took the mask off. It was called Super Destroyer just for a couple of matches. Do you remember any of that? Did you see any of that? That's a very underappreciated part of his career.
Yeah, I did not see it. I remember him telling me about it. I remember him getting in the ring. Of course, they pretty much had him as a job man, jump in the ring, get the butt kicked, and get out of here, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's how he started. But I think Eddie and Mike Graham didn't really like Terry for whatever reason, and that's when he left. And because he could see he wasn't going to go anywhere there. And he went through all the things with Matsuda and all that.
Well, Terry's made comments in the past about like Mike not having an issue with him in high school. They were far apart in grade. Do you remember, was there ever a confrontation with Mike and Terry in high school?
No, not that I know. No, okay. Terry never, I never heard of any. Mike was a senior, I think, when Terry was a sophomore.
Okay.
And of course, Mike was short, you know.
Right.
And, but of course, Eddie was a, you know, big time wrestler, wrestling.
So you mentioned being at the table with these huge wrestling stars. So that was the thing, huh? When I heard that, I was like, why would the wrestlers go to his parents' house instead of Terry's house? But they would come over with pizza.
Yeah. Because Terry, you know, they come over and see Pete and Eric, and they enjoy talking with them. And Dean was a really good guy. All these guys that were the heels, you know, they were some of the nicest guys, you know. I remember the great Malenko, in fact, at Terry's funeral. I saw Dean Malenko there. And I remember bowling with Dean and Jody Malenko. Their real name was Simon, Larry Simon. And they're in South Carolina. Must down Russian, right? So, anyway.
I would have lost the puck 3 times by the time that I handled like that.
Yeah, Larry was just, I worked out at American Fitness, so just the nicest, most gentle man you've ever met. Like people like. And Peter Bolia. But anyway, what were we going to say?
Jabba Heenan.
Yeah, Heenan was just such a nice, all those guys are really nice guys. The heels, you know. And I remember when Terry introduced me to Randy Camacho. And Terry said, hey, Randy, I want you to meet a long-time friend of mine, Dick Fettig. And I reached out and I shook his hand. He goes, hey, I didn't know with the voice. I thought the voice was a gimmick. What? You know? And I remember one time, in a steering his car. Yeah, he played for the Tampa Tigers, played the outfield and third base, the Cincinnati organization. But, yeah, I remember one time I went to get Terry's Lincoln Town Car, and the seat on the passenger side was all broken down. And I looked at Terry, I went to get in the car, and I said, dude, what's up with your seat here? He goes, damn giant, man. This seat is broken down. Hey, look, I remember one time when Terry was a heel, you know, he first started, he wrestled in New York. He was a heel. And I don't know if you knew that, but he was a heel. He wrestled in Madison Square Gardens. And he said, of course, you know, people come up with programs, wanting an autograph, and spit in them and throw them at him. You know, stuff like that. Just anything in the world pissed him off. And some of these people, they were so pissed off at him. He said he had to tell the limo driver when he came out of the locker room to leave. He told the limo driver, he said, hey, pick me up on the other side of the arena. Because he said, there are probably 50 guys out there waiting for me, man. So they picked him up on the other side of the arena. Of course, he drove by him and flipped him off and going to the limos. Yeah. Tell you one little funny story. When I was bowling on tour in 1987, my last year, I rode with 3 guys that were from the West Palm Beach area. And we had bowled in Vegas a week before. And I called Ruth and I said, yeah, what's Terry up to? Well, he's going to L.A. This Saturday. And in fact, the Super Bowl was in L.A. that week. And so I said, okay, great. And I said, they wrestle in the L.A. Sports Arena. I said, okay, cool. I said, we'll go there and get a motel room early. and hopefully we can hook up. He said, okay, I'll call him and tell him and let him know. Of course, we didn't have cell phones. This is 1987. Right. So anyway, I tell these guys, I said, yeah, I grew up with Terry, and they're like, yeah, you're full of shit. You know, you grew up with Hulk Hogan. I'm like, and he had that was 87 when he just slammed Andre. So he's the top of the world, you know. And so they're like, he didn't grow up with him, you know, this and that. I'm like, okay, I didn't expound it. I said, okay, yeah, I can believe me, that's fine. So, and they were big wrestling fans. So anyway, about an hour later, the phone rings, and it's Terry. He and Brian Blair are downstairs in the limo. And I told him, I said, well, I'm going with him to the matches, so you can stay here if you want. And so now they believe it. Now they come down, of course, then their eyes get like saucers, you know. They can't believe it. So I told Terry, we had the ugly duckling rental car, a piece of junk Cougar, because we couldn't get a rental car because the Super Bowl was there. So I said, Terry, you think my boys can tell us to the matches? He said, sure. He said, I'll tell them. So I didn't know Terry. I met Flair and Sergeant Slaughter and different guys who wrestled, you know, and, so that's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Do you remember, like, when was the first time you saw him wrestle? Ever?
You know, I didn't. First time I ever saw him wrestle was on TV.
Really?
I never saw him in person.
No kidding.
I never saw him in person. Yeah, and I remember he'd go into his acts, and you know, Terry was always a quiet, shy kind of guy. Of course,
hey everybody, I'm James Cebulski. Welcome back to EA Sports.
And he told me, he said, yeah, they tell me, he said, I got it down to a science. He said, they tell me, give me 45 seconds, and they give me a minute. He said, I know exactly in my head how long that's going to be, and I know how to cut it off, you know. So he would do his gimmick, and, but yeah, he was very smart. He's the one that came up with the, you know, walking to the ring was now baseball, everything, the music and all that. He's the one that came up with that idea. So that's,
you can see it with that stage tracks, and he's so down that it's a competitive nature to challenge the
I'm glad to mention Nhl26 before quickly because I just want to ask you, when playing baseball too in Tampa, I think even Wade Boggs was in the game or something like that, or his coach. And
see how Wade could have played on the same team with Terry. I know Eddie at some of these things said he played on the same team with Terry, which is definitely not the case.
Yeah, we've seen the team change later.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't there. He was younger. So, but in fact, I remember introducing Terry to Eddie. I'm playing softball, and Terry's in the dugout, and Eddie's in the dugout. I introduced the two of them, and I'm going to do it. They're hanging out. And the guy, they were both down there, you know, because Eddie was a pretty big guy. They were, you know, hitting some Dynaball, I think, back in the day. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Dynaball for sure. I mean, Terry went through all that stuff. And, you know, I was curious because, you know, clearly partook, let's say. He had a whole lifestyle. It wasn't just the guitar.
Right.
Marijuana and stuff like that. Coming up in the 70s and stuff, with those drugs around and the steroids and stuff. But what was the role in that? It's always been kind of up to them. You know, some of the guys, if they needed stuff, Terry could help them down there.
Well, that I didn't know. I know one thing. The first time, I remember Terry's playing in a band. We had been going down the ball. He was up about 260 short. Big guy. And he's got this red band with flower coat in the back. And platform tennis shoes on, you know, 4 inches high, but you really needed that at 6'7", you know. So he tells me, he says, come here. He says, I want to show you something. I said, okay, what's that? I'm standing in this front door. He goes into the stand and comes back out. He's got 2 little vials.
Yes.
He goes, see these? He goes, Parabol, get the drop. He goes, 300 pounds world championship in my hand right here. And I'm like, go for it, man. I said, I know you can get in there and talk to the crowd and everything in the band. I said, you're a smart guy. You're huge. You're a big guy. You know, I said, I know you'll get there. Yeah.
So his thing was, I can either get me to 300 and then I can be the world champ. Is that what he meant?
Yeah. He felt it. Yeah, he believed in his heart. And, I had no doubt. One thing about Terry, a lot of people probably didn't know, he had a birthmark. And it was like, just like a little square between like his little finger and his ring finger. Or it could have been the ring finger and the bird finger. But there was a square brown birthmark there. And I remember Keith saying, yeah, it's like a diamond. And it was perfectly square. And it was so small.
James, and really the only reason this game is close, this is exactly why you built your team from the goaltender position out.
That's an interesting detail. Yeah, that's probably something that only his closest, friends would the muscle stuff. So they talked about superstar Billy Graham, who of course was the man here in that game. And I think you guys have used to speak of the Hesterly.
Yeah, well, he wrestled. I mean, Terry would meet a lot of wrestlers at a place called the Imperial Room.
Yes.
Because after the matches, that's where they would all go. And that's where Terry first met Billy Superstar Graham. And if you look at Terry's career, he got the rap like Dusty Rhodes, and he got the roids and everything real big, like Superstar Billy Graham. So he's kind of a combination of the two.
Was Billy Graham someone you remember with the matches that you were interested in? Like what wrestlers did Terry get most excited for when you guys went?
I don't remember anybody in particular at the matches. When we went to the matches, we were pretty young then, we were like 12, 13 years old, and then we went again later on, got more involved. I think the first time he got in the ring, he told me this, and I wasn't there, but he had like a Hawaiian shirt, he was already used up. I think he'd already worked out with Matsuda, and he jumped in the ring at the crowd, and got there with the guy Buddy Wolf. And, so that's kind of how it all started before you know it. Then he's the superstar that put the sock on him. He said to me when we were working out, he said, I'll tell you what, he said, work out with me for about another month. And he said, I'll get you some little blue soldiers with the dynamite. And, because he was just getting into wrestling. He said, I could maybe get you into the thing, And about 2 weeks later, I broke a city record bowling, and I said, no, I quit working out, and that was that.
So that must have been something for you, mentioning Jeff Carson's show. That must have been something, in Hulk's history with steroids and stuff. Going there, in 91. We got the hot seat. What do you remember about that?
Yeah, I was sitting there watching all that stuff, say your prayers, take your vitamins, and all that, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to say anything about it, and I knew about the vitamins,
right,
and eventually it all came out. I remember in 1989 going to Trump Plaza when we wrestled Mike and Randy, and I was sitting in the motel room with Randy and Terry before they got in the ring, and that was WrestleMania 5, and my mother and Pete and Ruth, my mother went up there with them, because they were getting up in years, and so I sat in the room with the two of them, of course, Terry's telling me, look, go in the ring, we come off, I'll give you the food, and all that, I knew it was going to happen. So we're sitting up above, I'm sitting next to Jesse the Body, and I look down the road, and there's Trump with his two sons, they're about 8 seats down the road. I didn't think a whole lot of it. Okay, Jones was close, sitting there, And, but, I remember Terry saying to Randy, because he knew he was going to, Randy's going to take the strap. And, told Randy, he said, look now, you got your stash, they like to smoke weed. He said, don't go in the airport with it. He said, have somebody else carry your stash. Because you don't want to get popped. So
I think the first guy to do that for Terry was Tony Altamar, and then it was, I think even Ed Leslie and Jimmy Hart probably had a run with the Fanny Pack.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's true.
That was his thing. You remember Tony at all? Tony Altamar?
No, didn't know him. I met Bubba. I met Bubba Clem. I met him.
Okay.
And I remember when we first met him here in Tampa. I was people saying, they've been best friends for years. And this, I'm like, you just moved to Tampa.
Huh?
You can't tell Finn's heading.
Lâche quoi?
Quick feed to Blake. Oh, trying to pick his corner and puts it off the outside of the post.
Colorado's been working hard around the net, James, and they're getting a lot of shot opportunities, but a little fine shooting here, and they're hitting a lot of posts.
C'est un break, ça?
Smooth skating to lose the defender
Une
there.
chose.
Looks to make a play over to Blake. They've got the defense outnumbered. Denied by Markstrom. The Penguins gain possession in their own end. Looking to set up offensively. And the final seconds ticking away here in regulation.
Donc, je suis en train de laver nos doudous de salon aussi. Oh, ça va faire du bien. Parce que le poil, ça paraît, hein. Tu sais, les musclants encore tantôt, là, puis les calvages à la cheminée, je me suis rendu avec une bouchée.
Celebrini has been bringing all of his skills tonight. He's finally going to connect for a goal here after having multiple opportunities. You knew he was going to find it at some point here, James, because he was in and around the net, creating space and opportunity for himself and his line mates.
Story about driving in the snow.
Breakaway! He scores! There's the hat trick in Ray Chapeau!
Yeah, Ray Chapeau is right there. Hats all over the ice. They're going to have to collect them.
C'est ça à toi, à toi? C'est ça à toi, à toi. C'est à moi. C'est à nous. C'est à vous. C'est à eux. Vous êtes tous mêlés, tout cousin, hein? Ouais. Ben non. Ben non. Une femme qui parle de bébé. Bon, si tu vas pas me prendre un joueur XP qui va pas me donner des points. Tu peux un peu pour un petit bébé.
Yeah. J'ai dit ça, qu'il fait juste ça, j'ai gotté. Je m'empêche de dormir. Allez, ça n'a pas arrivé à tuer, là.
Ouais.
Je te rappelle les souvenirs. Puis après ça, j'ai dit, ben on a parlé pour la liste des cadeaux aussi. Quand je l'ai rassuré, je ne peux pas utiliser comment tu fais ça, comme ça, là. J'ai dit, c'est plus les autres affaires que je veux savoir.
Ok, ouais, non, c'est ça.
Elle m'a tout dit.
Toi, t'as pris Vince Dunn, hein? Ouais. Ouais, t'as Vince Dunn, toi.
Non, j'ai un centre.
Mais t'as pris Vince Dunn, je te le dis. T'as pas pris Will Smith. Je me rappelle que tu l'as, Vince Dunn.
Ah, c'est pas ta carte de base.
Ouais, t'as Vince Dunn, moi j'ai pris Demko. Fait que là, moi je prends Matty
Oui, t'as dit, ok, c'est joueur XP.
Ouais,
Oui.
je prends Matty Beniers.
Non, pas Matty.
Je prends Matty Beniers. T'as un centre.
Ouais. Elle a déjà commencé très bien. Elle dit, envoie-moi ta liste. Je prends photo, j'ai envoyé des bouts.
Ouais.
Elle m'a réécrit sur le papier qu'est-ce qu'elle avait.
Oh.
C'est pour ça que j'ai pris un peu du palais.
Ouais.
Elle a dit ça, honnêtement. Elle dit, t'en as 2 sites. J'ai un porte-bébé.
Équipé.
Après ça, elle dit des couches lavables. Elle dit, t'as pas besoin d'acheter tant de couches que ça, elle te parle pour un cycle de lavage en entier. Elle dit, bon, t'es confiant. Fait que, on est-tu en live, quelque chose?
Ouais.
Ah, allô tout le monde?
Allô. Allô. Allô.
Fait que, des couches lavables, on va en avoir en tabarnak.
C'est de l'autre.
Ouais, fait que ça coûtera pas cher en couche.
C'est le fun à savoir.
Mettons. Elle va nous le compter dans ça là. Oui.
Ok.
Après ça, on va tout énumérer ce qu'il y avait, puis d'autres affaires à une qu'il y avait des couches.
Ok.
Fait que là, comme ça m'a permis de mettre à jour la liste aussi.
Yes.
Alors de ça. Après ça, elle m'a demandé si on avait installé la commode, la commode.
Ok.
Elle dit bon, oui, ça va être long. Fait que là, elle a dit une photo. Fait que je viens d'en envoyer une. Tu regardes pas le ménage, par exemple.
Non, ouais, ça va.
On est en train de trier, puis je fous le bordel, puis trier d'autres affaires que j'ai fait.
Là, c'est ça.
Comme ça.
Ça.
Un tout le temps de la vie, puis après ça, on a dû porter tout le Facebook par personnel.
Ouais. C'est bon, ça.
Parce que, au petit parce que tout. Les photos d'image. On l'a fait. Il est allé dans le devant. J'ai vu transfert dans ce blanc, j'ai réussi. Après ça, j'ai fait le petit. Peut-être mélangé avec les photos de cérémonie.
Ouais.
Là, j'ai pris des dossiers, j'ai tout cherché dans les bonnes places. J'ai fait ici, là. Ça fait quasiment 5 ans.
Aïe aïe.
Ça, que mon frère, il était mort. Ça, tu me vois, je branche mon phone.
Ça en fait un shit là, ouais, c'est ça.
Depuis un matin, je suis là sur ce là.
C'est du bourrage.
Là, après ça, les 4 vidéos de moment où j'ai essayé puis réessayé, ça marche pas. Là, j'ai écrit.
Ouais.
Il me dit, bah, je vais essayer de te renvoyer. Mais il dit, honnêtement, il était pas très bon, manque d'éclairage.
OK.
Là, il va me le renvoyer pareil.
OK, c'est bon.
Mais au moins, il peut me rassurer quand même, en même temps, que
c'est pas grave.
Le full beau bon manque, là, tu sais.
Non, c'est ça.
Pas donner un résultat, c'est pas le bon.
J'ai oublié de regarder, j'avais des joueurs. Ah, Mathieu Beniers, il est du Kraken. Ben, ça, j'ai déjà fait. Tu sais, des joueurs que je viens d'avoir. C'est des équipes. C'est juste des bonnes nouvelles, tout ça, là. C'est le fun.
C'est ça.
Ouais, pas mal.
Dans la dernière heure, hein? Je peux pas arrêter de dire.
OK.
Comme si j'aurais bu trop de caféine,
Ouais.
Je m'en mets tout petit café dans ma main à retardement. C'est peut-être ça aussi, je sais pas.
Never know. Moi, je sais, t'as toute la semaine.
Ouais. Aujourd'hui, c'est tournoi.
Ouais.
Après ça, les autres jours de la semaine, on va voir. Mais c'est ça, je vais dire plus que de
OK.
Ça dépend des pauses que je prends.
Ouais.
Tu as regardé ma motte?
Ah oui. C'est quand même cool. J'aime mieux que le petit pote j'adore.
T'aimes pas ma conso?
Oh oui, non, mais j'aime mieux ça que juste la promoteur.
Ah oui?
Oh, j'aime ça fucker. Oh oui. Non, c'est cool. Mais ça, je vais marquer tantôt. Le best, c'est là, c'est cool. Mais sinon, ça, c'est pas mal mieux que. J'avais déjà dit ça, tu sais déjà. Ouais, ça le fait plus, là. La quoi te fait plus. Mais j'aime mieux ça quand même. Ça c'est les cool. En plus, le fait les couleurs, c'est pas les mêmes, là. Oh, ça. As-tu compté le pédard, là? Pédard. Qu'est-ce que t'as dit?
The Avalanche have been pushing and they finally break through with the game's first goal.
Yeah, they capitalized finally, James, and that's the execution they needed, but there's not much ice out there, not much separating these two teams. So this next shift to create and continue that momentum is really important.
And that's deflected. Grabs the puck in the slot. In front of the net, the goaltender covers up for a whistle on the play.
Bébé pas bébé.
Encore aujourd'hui. Je te dis même pas, là, puis elle fait de la boîte. Pour vrai, elle a toujours été mieux.
Give me a sense of what's going on here on the bench at this time out here, Cheryl.
Well, you have to utilize every time out as an opportunity to strategize what you're going to do at the face-off dot and get a rest if you can, James.
Now that's out of reach and out of the offensive zone. Scoops up the puck now. Taken by Beniers.
OK.
And that's a smart heads-up play by Lume.
Still got it.
The turnover by Beniers. Picked up along the wall by Babbage. Oh, tremendous hit on the play. Look at that. He's on his own bench.
Great catch by his teammates, isn't it, James? As he lands in the laps of his own. And you know what? There's a lot of laps going on right there. They're saying, man, you got it. You got a good one.
It's together.
Ah,
c'est bien trop petit, ça. Je pense que j'en avais une avec Jen. C'est de la merde. Quel flip, là. Ah, c'est à chier. C'est trop petit. Ça vaut rien.
Si Jen, elle m'a dit que les sacs, c'est plein là-dedans. Elle dit que c'est vraiment cher. Et elle fait les sacs.
Beauty save back there. He's really owning his crease.
T'en as pas vraiment besoin quand tu fais le
OK.
C'est là que ça arrivait avant. C'est vrai qu'elle a tellement été
Yes.
The style of goaltending has changed so much over the years, James, and you can see that he drops right to his knees here in the butterfly position, trying to make himself as big as possible. But unfortunately, the shooter is able to put it by.
Nice speed at center, moves up ahead now. Takes a shot. Stopped by the goaltender. There's the whistle as the goalie hangs on. The Avs have outshot, outscored, and all around dominated here in this first.
Well, coaches always say the first minute and the last minute of every period are critical. Well, now they've got the
C'est un marché qui rapporte pas mal, ça. C'est pas pour un bébé, là. Comme Beniers qui va arrêter. Ça continue de ça. Ça continue de se reproduire. Il donne la grossage qui se passe. Ouais. C'est la petite chose.
All right, Cheryl, what's your interpretation of what you've seen from the first period of action?
The Avs dominated that opening frame, James.
Scores! And there's the hat trick, and this place is silent.
Well, he's licking his chops when he goes on the road, hey, James? And he gets his hattie. I mean, he's been feeling it, but when he's on the road, he's something else.
The Avalanche have been playing one of those games tonight that when coaches talk about complete games, Cheryl, this is the textbook for it.
Yeah, when you got a bunch of goals on the scoreboard for and none against, I'd say you're doing it right.
Decides to go to the backhand, and a great save.
That's a great save, but the goaltender had to get out to the top of his crease, take away all the ice to make himself as big as possible.
And now it's over to Adams. And they turn it over in the neutral zone. On-man rush. Here's a chance to the middle. Oh, he comes up with a stop.
The
Avs will play it from the corner. Scores another one. And listen to these fans now, Cheryl. They don't like it one bit.
Oh, they don't like it, James. It is ugly inside the building. You couldn't get anything going on the ice, and even harder when your own fans are booing.
The Avs win it. Takes the feed in the middle of the neutral zone. Oh, and he whiffs on it. Picked up by Canty. Calgary's got it along the wall. The Avalanche have the puck in their own end. Bedard's carrying it ahead. Moves it in front. And carries off a twig in front of the net. Oh, great little takeaway at center. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Struck the hole. He saved it. Oh, wow. Scores. And it gets right back to him. And he puts it home.
And we sat there and talked for 5 hours. And he had told me he'd seen 14 wrestlers in the locker room dead. a lot of things. So, he wasn't going to look the old.
The Avs continue to show no signs of slowing down here tonight.
Well, they keep filling the net, James. They fill it because they've got the puck on their stick. I mean, they let ozone possession time here, but they're doing something with it.
I saw the Bucks play the Vikings up there. I went to a game up there with a friend of mine was running the game. But I did get a chance to see wrestle up there. But a few of the guys that hung out with my buddy, Mark, they big wrestling fans, and they love Hulk Hogan. They idolized him, That was 1980. The Bucks, Tommy Kramer, the Vikings, Doug Williams, the Bucks. Yeah.
Somebody Terry Bolle's friend.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to admit when that service
so difficult, James. I mean, he stumbles, so he's
Pascal, ça va?
Maybe there was some crossword said. I don't know. There was a big. You can give our listeners.
Écoute, un de mes podcasts favoris de Lapspan, podcast de lutte, wrestling. Écoute, c'est drôle.
I told Nick, I said, man, I don't know how you did it.
Yes, sir, Miller.
I tried to sit there and I felt boring.
Moves it quickly over to Beniers.
He said, yeah, you shouldn't sit me when I was like that.
That frees up possession. Calgary's got a hold of it against the wall. Oh, and a misfires. That goes right out of the zone.
I was standing next to him in the castle. But I didn't hear anything cross that I heard now. There could have been, but I didn't hear it. I was there, but I didn't hear anything.
It was Dennis saying, brother, like, with a smile on his face, or was he like crying?
Yeah, it's like, I think he was like crying, sunglasses. But I think when they were pulling Terry's cat.
C'est une game, ça? Je sais qu'il a fait un live, mais. C'est une game, ouais. Ah, j'avais commencé à checker son live. T'as joué quand?
Has been able to watch the game for most of the night from the other end because of the offensive production in the offensive zone, James. He's done a good job there. Timing is everything. Staying focused, tracking the puck, and making a good save at the right time.
Passes it to Stastny. And a stick breaks that up. Calgary's got the puck. Walker's got it in the defensive end.
Ah, mais c'est cool, Pascal. Ah, je sais pas, j'avais pas fini encore de l'écouter.
When the puck's in the low slot, the goaltender gets right out next to the shooter and makes the save.
Ouais, ça, j'ai vu. J'ai pas pris un heure d'écouter.
It's a magic number. He's doing everything he can to take the crowd out of this one as he's with the away team, but he's been dominated, playing really confident all night long.
And now he tries to get it across to Tanti. Less than 60 seconds left here in the final frame. Skates to the crease. Oh, they call that friendly fire as it goes off one of his teammates.
Okay, cool. So I went there.
Takes loose. Denies him. Takes a shot. Oh, it's a great shot block there.
Well, yeah, he's got a scoring chance, and you want to make sure that you get in front of that one, and he did. He gets all of it.
Oh, he misfires on that. And the puck stopper jumps on top of it to get a stoppage in
Ouais,
play.
je vais continuer là.
First Hulk Hogan autograph is signed Terry Bollea.
And when you've got it on your stick and it seems to be dropping, you continue to shoot the puck, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's got 3 goals in this game so far, and you can tell that his line mates are trying to find him wherever he is.
1h07. Ça, c'est le nom du Shell avec mon chum Joe, là. Le capitaine des Nords.
Well, you know that the defensive side is vulnerable right now with a tired tender, and on the offensive side, you got to recognize that vulnerability and you have to attack the net.
Grabbed along the boards by Beniers. Denies him on the one-timer. Oh, what reaction! The Avs have it behind the cage. Denies him in front.
I love how aggressive he plays the shooter on the inner slot here, James. He knows that he's got to take away the so he gets out and challenges to make the save.
Back to the blue line. And that's blocked. Handles the pass. And that's all she wrote on that one. You know, Cheryl, always impressed when a goalie puts up a clean sheet, especially in today's game.
Well, in today's game, I mean...
Après le Beniers, je vais aller checker voir c'est quoi. Tom Wilson.
Ok, Carrie, t'as là aussi, ouais? Kevin? Good.
Ben, des collections, comme objectif, c'est plate qu'il ne marche pas les collections. Attends, je vais te montrer, Val, c'est quoi que je voulais faire cette année. C'est comme, c'est abusif, là, mais... Ben oui, Wilson, surpris pareil. Non, pas match suivant, je vais aller checker de quoi pour Nhl. Hey, Connor McCall! Je vais essayer d'en faire plus des lives. C'est le fun de participer tout en plus, fait que on va être cool.
Oups.
Comme 1 heure, je sais pas, 1 heure et demie. 1 heure et quart. Souvent, je comme ces heures-là. Des fois, je fais du World of Chell, mais... Oh. Je savais pas qu'on pouvait prendre ça.
Avec notre petite Beniers.
It's all been building, the anticipation leading to this moment, and we're about to get the opening face-off. The Avs have won the draw, and we are now underway. And that plays offside. We got a face-off coming up. Lots of time left in this period. The game is still scoreless.
What's this play? 5 totons. Je vais enlever le Wi-Fi. Tiens. Ça va marcher, là. Mon internet est buggé. Bon, ça. Non. Mon internet est buggé sur mon cell. Je peux pas continuer d'écouter la vidéo. Ok, de nouveau en ligne. C'était weird, ça. Ah.
The Bruins take control of the face-off. Into the corner of the attacking area. Denied by the goaltender.
Sometimes when you have no time to think, you make these types of saves. I mean, there's no hesitation here, just simply reaction to be able to make it.
He scores! The captain leading by example.
Moi, c'est un show dans les SP Live.
You know that the coaching staff would have had a very clear message to the team before this game. Do not give the opponent any life. Do not allow them to feel like they can get hold of this game. You have to do that, James, by getting on the board first early in the opening frame.
Absolutely levels them.
Some players get into the game by physically engaging early. There's a fine line there, but that was executed perfectly.
Après,
There's a solid collision.
je vais aller checker voir
Here they
c'est quoi.
come on the attack. Sends it in front. And
Oh, Wilson!
And the goaltender grabs that one for a whistle to try to slow things down here.
Ben,
We haven't even hit the midway mark.
ben,
of the
des
period.
collections,
We got
comme
a 1-0
objectif,
game to this point.
c'est plate qu'il ne marche pas les collections. Attends, je vais te montrer, Ben, c'est quoi que je voulais faire cette année.
Shot tipped.
Comme c'est abusif, là, mais...
To make that pad save. Snaps one from the slot.
Ben oui, Wilson, surpris pareil.
Oh, a save on the play.
Bon, ben, je
Oh, that's
suis
great larceny, James. I mean, he just stole one away
Hey,
from
Connor
his
McCall.
opponent. What a save.
Ben, je vais essayer d'en faire plus des lives. C'est le fun de participer tout en plus.
Stop by the goaltender. Leach is lugging the puck. Steps across the blue line. Shot off the inside of the post, and we play on.
The Avs get some emotion from the bench as they look to extend their lead and hit the post out. Everyone thought it might have gone in, and then they realized it didn't.
Can't hang on to the puck after the play. That's just a great heads-up read at center ice. The Avalanche have taken possession in their own end. Shakes off the defender with some nifty moves. Shuts him down. Nabokov's going to hang on to the puck for a whistle.
These are always high-tempo pace games. They are fast because the puck is slinging back and forth right now, trading chances at either end.
Just here in the late stages of this frame, the Avs have taken a 1-0 lead. Colorado's won it. Now they'll go on the attack. And he says no. Oh, it goes right off the post. And does it again. 23 seconds now. Quick pass across to Meyer. And that's intercepted by Murray. Here's a chance. 9 seconds and he makes the save. And with that, the first period is in the books. Both teams with a chance at a refresh will get a clean sheet of ice and come back with period number 2.
Newspaper article in the 11th ago, and I showed that in Netflix documentary. We decided the pencil was very light, but you can definitely see it.
Both teams are back at center ice.
Yeah,
I
never want to ask Terry for anything. You know, he was nice to have people fall.
The second stanza is underway as the puck is dropped. Let's go. We've had an intermission to settle things down after the first period. How do you process what you've seen?
Nabokov's been the only reason that this game is close, James. I mean, they have been under siege. There's been shots coming from everywhere, and the defense in front of them aren't doing anything to clear rebounds. They need to shore this up if they want to get back in this game. He's the reason it's so close.
Nabokov's going to give everyone a chance to breathe and hang on to the puck.
Look up there, the big man. That's $20. That's the Terry.
Colorado's been the more aggressive team offensively, and they continue to lead here in the second.
Bring him up here. The guy brings me up to like the front row. And Terry said, no, not there.
Beniers won the draw, and they'll start off on the attack.
It's Scott. So we Scott there. That's the last time I saw Terry. I talked to him. He was in the hospital. He said, give me
You can certainly tell that the goaltender is dialed in on that last sequence of saves, James. He's kept position. Back-to-back goals. You can feel the energy, the way the momentum, and the tides have turned here, James. They need to keep the pedal to the metal.
Inching closer to the midway mark of the period. The Avs have recently taken a 2-goal lead. They'd love to build on it. At center ice now. He grabs the puck. Takes the shot.
Yeah, on this here. In fact, I got into it. I just stand up for the period. That's broken.
And it
And
stays
Ruth was
out
having to
and
pull
play
him up.
continues.
And then when I got him that lip chair,
The Avalanche have taken over in the neutral zone. The Bruins get a hold of the puck in their own end. Oh, and some smooth skating to lose the defender there. Here he is on the backhand. And he scores.
I remember one other thing. When people dying, as I've seen in the hospital many
The
times,
Bruins needed that, Cheryl, and they
Terry
seem to have
called me
some
and said,
life now.
Well, they've shortened the deficit, and there's nothing better to get you back in the game than one goal.
So
To
I
put
went
themselves
over,
on their
I
toes,
saw
but again, they're going to have an attack mentality if they want to get an equalizer.
And a stick in the lane deflects that one away. Puck grab by Smith. Locks him on the play.
To talk to you, Vic, I realized that you guys actually got most of
And that's hooked away.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Myers picking up
They were like
steam.
that. There was to me, twice
Slides into the
my dad
crease.
paid $100
Just
for us
gets
to go to those
enough to
bucks.
keep it out. Power play.
I remember the
That
first
goes
time
off
when I
the
first met
outside of
there,
the post.
Colorado's players are starting to squeeze their sticks a little bit tight here, James. They continually hit the post. Listen, the good part is they're still in the lead, so they got to free themselves up a little bit and find the netting.
My dad
Blake
Terry
stick handling in his own zone.
My dad
Beats the
Terry
puck
said,
up. He's got a step.
well, that's your dad. If he's going to turn. Terry said, my dad said, my dad's instructor. Doesn't make much money. My dad looked at him and said, I didn't ask you how much money you bought of me. Besides, he said, go home and ask my dad to come with us. He was a good. He went with us.
And they got the puck after that neutral zone face-off.
Terry, though.
Oh,
Je ne pas à soir, Pascal. Demain, j'en joue. Je suis de retour à 3 jours semaine en chaîne. Je jouais tous les soirs pas mal parce que c'était les playoffs. Quand c'est playoffs, là, plus. Mais la semaine passée, ma femme était en vacances. Mais là, je suis de retour à 3 jours semaine. 3 soirs. Et que ça va être demain. Demain. Mais merci de t'offrir.
We're in the limb always drove it, pulling tops up, sticking it in the
En attendant, je vois un peu à haute au saveur. Ah, parce que ma femme, quand même, pendant des soirées. Je suis pas très loin, j'aime ça beaucoup comme ça. Je suis comme un enfant, là, tu mets des limites, là. Comment ça va, hein, toi, Pascal?
Yeah, that morning I've been texting Nick, and Nick was telling me he's feeling better, his flow process, he's feeling better. Well, that Wednesday night, I texted Nick at 8:30, and I said, well, I texted back, but I didn't see it for the next morning.
The Blackhawks really struggled tonight, and the team in front of them as well. They've got to find a way to get back on track. They need to switch the momentum of this game if they want to get back in.
Ouais, c'est normal.
Hopefully we'll be able to see him soon. Well, I texted back at 9:30.
I think he did, James. I mean, you got to protect the house, especially when it's a great stretch shot like that, and he finds a way.
And then all of a sudden,
Ouais, tellement d'options, hein. Beaucoup d'argent.
Not just that, though, James. It is clearly broken.
Ouais, les
They're
choix.
going through. They got some work to do.
Is it true about Terry?
Pas le choix de grinder.
They're announcing.
Il va y avoir des dépôts qui sont rares. À long terme, on veut ça longtemps.
Of course, I just fall apart, you know.
He's going to win the foot race to the
Ouais, ils ont droppé beaucoup de shit en partant dans le
to
jeu.
do it as well. He fights for the space to get the shot up. That's a high danger scoring chance, just doesn't connect.
All Irish fans, as people
And now he passes up to Beniers.
addicted to wrestling.
Colorado's number one line has been dominant tonight, James.
There was life before and after this day.
It's such a tough shot to read, to be able to catch the puck on your backhand and be able to release it quickly. You're going to have to control it, and that's why it's so unpredictable.
Ouais, non, c'est ça.
Like I say, he's a good guy. Sometimes they paint stories about him being more he did his job. He did it obviously very well. Wanted to be the greatest hitter ever. Certainly wanted to be the greatest wrestler. And he did. You know, I mean, everybody who's been around wrestling for years knows, you know, he took wrestling to a totally different platform. He and Dustin Mann together. And, yeah, he's a good guy and very good friend.
Tries to feed it over to Meyer.
It's too emotional here. Yep.
The Avs have it now.
Meyer's been a workhorse tonight, James, and there's just another example of it, and the entire bench knows that they're invigorated by it. I mean, he's on his way down, he's stumbling, and he manages to find the puck and get a shot on net. That's tenacity at its best.
Nowhere is a production. Its content is intended for private use only.
With Terry Bollea.
That shot to go through. Now a quick pass to Beniers. The Bruins gain possession. Carlson's moving it ahead. Scooped up along the wall by Marlowe.
It's the Lapsed Fan Wrestling Podcast. Special report. Lapsed Fan presents
Ouais, ça.
Hulk Hogan
story. But well acquainted as anyone could have expected us to be. I mean, more so than I ever living under a living under a rock, stuff one of the you need to know that the last thing we dropped on the feed as part of the complete Hulk Hogan journey interview with essentially Hulk Hogan / Terry Bollea's best childhood friend Vic Pettit is the height of achievement for us. So since it's lapsed as it gets, then nobody else is going to do that. Sort of like, a documentary that might include snippets of him, but we cleared the decks. We said, you know what? This has to happen. If we have even a scintilla of chance of bringing voices to the fore that, with the exception of some newspaper articles over the year, never in a podcast format, dedicated, focused conversation with Vic Pettit about all he remembers about Terry Bolles. We've got to do it, and we're able to do it because the complete Hulk Hogan comes with our wind at the sails from you and the solar system. Financial support. Find him wasn't free. Getting him, it's all part of which was certainly put in, get out, and the Hulk Hogan boss at this rate is going to serve as the ultimate. You get in.
Ah, mais c'est sûr qu'il y a des joueurs que j'aimerais avoir, comme Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, Mario Lemieux. Pas mal. Ça en est 3 exemples de ceux-là que j'aimerais vraiment beaucoup avoir. Il y en a d'autres. Fait que je travaille là-dessus. À long terme. J'aime mon équipe. C'est pas mal. Comme là, ça, c'est pas ma vraie équipe. C'est mon line-up d'événements. Je fais toujours 2 line-up. Je fais un line-up d'événements qui sert juste à grinder là, des objectifs. J'ai mon vrai line-up quand je vais jouer un jeu en ligne. Des shit de... Oh, ça, c'est mon line-up d'événements. Dans un bédard, je joue pas dans mon équipe. Shadow, oui, Beniers. Ça sauve du temps, tu sais. Tu n'as pas toujours à changer les cartes. Pendant que l'event, tu les changes, ça change souvent.
Oh, you can see him shaking his head a little bit. He gets rattled. His bell rung on that shot.
I don't think anybody was hanging on to the puck after that hit. Here's a pass in front. And he shuts down a great scoring chance there.
Awards after truly being worthwhile, or even be it as Hollywood Hulk Hogan in WCW. Earning the big gold belt into a guitar.
After that last hit with sustained pressure, you know that the goaltender is fatigued. You got to find ways to get pucks to the net.
But that's that little glimpse, picking up a guitar. It's that glimpse of showmanship that was deep in the spirit of Terry Bolles that allowed Hulk Hogan to exist. And picking up music in the 70s, still in high school, getting involved in a series of bands that achieved some level of renown, as far as we can tell, in the Tampa area, playing college campuses, playing bars and clubs, playing frat parties and things like that.
Let's have another look
and Terry
at
Bollea
that
starts to find Hulk
James.
Hogan.
You gotta love it. You have
That's
to have
where he realizes that, actually,
your opponent's vulnerable.
there is some pizzazz to this big awkward SOB that's too afraid to play football.
Lead it 1-0.
Frank's home runs without even trying to pitch well. That's where the transition lies. So this, ladies and gentlemen, on the complete Hulk Hogan is part 1 of the birth of Hulk Hogan. And to the point must still start with Terry Bollea is where to begin to detect the origin, birth, the spawning of Hope. We're going to do just that. We're going to do it. I think, Boss, you could say, well, absolutely. Because as you know, by now, we hope to point earlier, putting the resources in so that we can give you the results out. Hired by our friends. Let's take a sip, Frank. All right. Let the listeners of Lapsed Fan Solar System know that they're missing. Cracking open.
I'll tell you.
Non, pas tant, Pascal. Moi, je l'ai gagné à Superstar. C'est vraiment... Dès que je l'ai eu, c'est une 81. C'est une question de boule, là, mais moi, je n'ai pas eu grand-chose. On a gagné à Superstar, c'est une ville de belle. Ça fait de la ressource, je suis pas dans le truc. Quand le champ va embarquer en ligne, Sport Champion, espérons que les packs vont être
easier when you're running in the game and your opponent is chasing, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
And right here, we're about to tell you, not only does it have good taste, they have good taste, because they understand the Lapsed Fan sits at the center of what will the Pro Wrestling Podcast is. So years and years and years to come. Hashtag shelf life, and whatever it is that you find yourself coming around, taking a journey with us, you know that Rob understands why you found yourself in that position, and why you so enjoy this steady, systematic march. Things that have never been said. Just for you. That win ever since. Roger Muir, America's fastest growing light it's crushable. Possible many times. No nonsense, 4% lager, just 95 calories. Great to be comes in 2 proud favorite rides, classic and wine. The website, find the locator. They were early supporters of the cast when they were in limited markets. Did a live show in Philly that was like part of their market rollout in that great American city.
Bonjour, madame. Comment ça va, mon Dieu? Pascal est là. Là, j'ai pas eu le temps de finir son live d'hier, mais c'est parce que j'ai un bug. J'essaie de repartir quand je jouais, justement, ton live. Puis j'ai un bug toujours à la même place, là. Tu viens de dire, genre, que des fois, tu joues en shell à genre 1h08, 9. Ça bug, là. Je sais pas si c'est mon cell. Whatever, ma connexion Internet. Mais Pascal, c'est ça qu'il me dit. Il dit que tu l'as pogné hier en ligne. C'est bien hot, ça. C'est juste pas rendu là encore. Bullshit, ça. Yes, c'est que là, je grind mon Joe, là. Là, j'avais ma carte XP que j'avais choisie, c'était Demco. Mais là, faut que tu fasses des assists avec ta carte XP. Fait que là, j'ai réussi à me ramasser toujours très populaire, Matty Beniers. Là, Beniers, il juste mon line-up d'events à la première ligne, puis idéalement, il fait des goals, là, Connor Bedard. Je sais pas que tu vas aller faire une petite sieste, mon cher Jess. Non, je peux pas, c'est ça. Ma Lisa a fini à 3h, elle a fini de travailler, puis je passe un téléphone business-wise, puis après ça, il faut qu'on aille à l'épicerie, dropper des canettes et faire des commissions. Ah non, pas Joe, dit Pascal. Ça a fini votre game hier. Je veux pas en remarquer. Je veux pas me faire spoiler. C'était le fun, vous avez joué contre, c'est cool. C'est un prélude de la Coupe saison. Peut-être vous poignez en première ronde, on se sépare. Il va falloir que je rajoute encore quelques personnes dans la Coupe saison pour qu'on soit 16. Que je vais gosser là-dessus. C'est le 13 octobre, j'avais dit. Fait qu'on joue en shell demain, Pascal. Tu sais, le monde peut jouer pareil, le monde du club, il est là pour ça, le club. Oh, dans le goal, monsieur Fokker. Oh. Oh, le petit douche. Ça va être d'autres, je crois que tu faisais de bon. bateau, cette monsieur est porté. Bon. Bonne on envoie de la POC au net. Tellement fun, il y a tellement d'objectifs à faire. Les batteurs, tu sais, dans la saison 1, des shots, des hits, des goals. On a l'impression qu'on pourrait jouer pendant 72 heures dessus. Je pense que c'était pas contre Pascal. J'ai juste joué, puis Attends, je vais aller voir sur mon live, je vois pas les fins de phrases. Comme ça. En direct. We are live. 5 rounds. Ah, mon phone, il bug. Il est gossant. Je suis pas capable d'aller sur YouTube. Bizarrement, je suis capable de faire un live, mais je suis pas capable de voir de vidéo sur YouTube. Moi, tu penses pas que c'était Pascal? J'ai vu le début de ton message. Mais à la fin, je le vois pas. Ça fait comme le load éternel. Toi, Pascal, t'avais dit quoi? Non, je sais pas comment il y a toujours un bug comme ça. Oh, je veux faire peut-être. Mais là, Pascal, c'était-tu toi ou pas là, qui a joué contre Joe? Le mystère perdu. Je vais fermer mon sel, je vais la rouvrir. Je peux pas dire ça. Comme ça. C'est. Ok, là. Putain. Et redémarrer. Ouais, fait qu'on n'a pas joué contre, il était juste là durant mon live. Ok, je pensais que tu avais joué. Pascal, c'est pour ça que tu m'avais dit que tu avais joué contre Joe. Oui, ouais, c'est ça, là, moi, tu mènes 3-0, là, quand j'ai eu mon bug, Joe. Tu domines ta partie. Ouais, en ligne, c'est encore cassé. J'ai joué 2 games en ligne à date. Je l'ai perdu la première, j'ai gagné la deuxième. Puis Isa a joué sa première hier. Elle a gagné genre 9-2. Puis moi, c'est tout ce que j'ai joué. Parce que comme tu dis, ça t'a dit, c'est ça que c'est cassé. Là. Personne ne peut monter quasiment plus haut qu'argent. Ok, t'as juste écrit, excuse-moi Pascal. J'ai mal compris. Mais non, c'est ça, c'est cassé en ligne. Le côté ranking, là. Ouais, mais ça, j'ai vu un gars sur Reddit aussi, il dit qu'il avait joué genre 50 games. Qu'il avait jamais monté genre Silver, je sais pas trop. Et non, c'est ça, comme tu dis, avant de trop se fâcher, Joe, je pense que c'est mieux d'attendre qu'il fixe ça. Et après ça, ben là, ça va valoir la peine parce qu'on va avoir une chance peut-être de monter. Quand il se met en crise, tu gagnes 6 games de suite, tu restes au même niveau, t'en payes là, tu descends, là, ou c'est pas motivant, ça. Pendant que tu fais du top chase, je fais des moments. On essaie de se ramasser des monnaies et des cartes. Non, ben, peut-être moi qui ai mal compris, Pascal aussi. Oh là, Chara, il va tellement bien. C'est insane. C'est Chara, hein. Et Gilmore, ça prend pas que je l'essaye aujourd'hui, là. Là, ben, c'est classique Gilmore, là. Bonne carte. Il n'y a pas cher à faire non plus, les Heroes, c'est ça qui est le fun, comme les capitaines aussi, là, tu sais, Ovechkin. Pas cher, mais là, c'est parce que c'est peu Joe Sakic. Fait qu'il faut que je me fasse Joe Sakic. Fait que ça me prend des 83, 85 à l'omnaille. Parce que j'en ai pas tant. T'es rendu à 30. 30 à 44. Oui, j'ai vu ça dans ton live, c'est ce que tu dis, chum. Et là, tu te ramassais toutes les cartes du Canadien, c'est awesome, ça. Thématique, qu'est-ce que c'est? Awesome. T'avais 150 000 bucks. Ton live d'hier. Big money, big funny. C'est bon, ça. Là, j'ai fait terre, comme tu peux voir. Je vais mettre des lanterns dans le jeu, là. Mon chum Pat s'est trompé, man. Maria a dit, ouais, j'ai réussi à me chercher des lanterns. Hein? Des lanterns pas dans le jeu, là. Ça, tu vas aller voir des Capitals dans notre mec. Il n'y a pas de des lanterns, là. La terre s'en va seul. Vraiment incroyable, les coachs! Moi, j'ai volé ça quand c'était acheté. Ça s'en va contre les Whalers en overtime dans les playoffs. C'est quand le but qu'ils éliminent à Québec et tout le monde habillé en blanc. Vous pouvez voir ça sur YouTube. Là, c'était acheté. Il y a un goal contre les Whalers. C'est André Coteau, le commentaire. T'as pas mis poil de coup pas cher, ouais? Ça c'est bien cool. Gartner avec 2 patineurs encore en salle. C'est Mike Gartner. Il a gagné le concours de patinage. Will de coup. Là, vite. Ouais, se lâcher, ça va tout seul, là. Là, il dit, ah, attends, ça va ça. Vraiment incroyable. Le coach. Mais poil de coup, ouais, c'est un quoi? C'est un 84? Sa meilleure carte, hein? Ouais, quand t'aimes une équipe, c'est ça. Quand t'aimes des joueurs, t'aimes une équipe. J'aime bien gros ça, les joueurs que j'aime. Souvent, c'est des vieux joueurs. J'aime les nouveaux aussi, là. Il va sortir un MSP Matthews vendredi. Tu vas te faire Pasternak, bro, quand t'as dit? Il va te Pasternak. Il est toujours bon, hein, Pasternak. Il fait toujours un esti fucking shot. JR qui est content. Ça monte. On monte ça. 1326 $. Ça ramasse des monnaies. Notification qui est Milestone. Ah, c'est ça, c'est des collecteurs. Ça, c'est bon. Ça. Fait que j'achève les hits. Ça va en donner 12. Surtout, Joe, ça doit monter vite, les hits. Ça, c'est gagné, les shots. Ouais, ça, 1000 shots. 250 jours. Non, c'est les Nordiques, mon équipe encore cette année. Ben, tu me connais, j'ai une équipe mixée. Tu te montres mon vrai line-up. Ben, je te l'ai envoyé en photo, je pense. Il n'a pas vraiment changé. Ben, on peut te montrer quand même. Fait que, tu sais, c'est des classiques, là. Tu sais, ça me prend Sundin, Matthews, Forsberg, Doug Gilmore. C'est un mix très libre, c'est très nordique. C'est pas mal ça qui constitue. Federer va tellement bien. C'est ce qui patine, hein. T'arrives dans le net avec, là. Ça, c'est mon club. Et bien sûr, ça me prend Monsieur Hockey. Et ça me prend JR. Et Marc Messier. Et Chelios, je l'aime tellement, là. Je l'ai découvert l'année passée. C'est fou. Il est pas gros, là. Mais il frappe. Puis il va bien. Chelios, là, ça a été ma révélation à défense. L'année passée, là, ça a donné que je l'ai poulé d'un pack. Je l'ai même pas drafté dans mon draft XM, mais il va tellement fucking bien. Là, j'ai Leach puis Blake ici. Qui sont montés dans un. Ouais, peut-être. Le Bobby Clark, je me l'ai payé. Il va bien souvent quand même, Bobby Clark. J'ai mon Gilmore ici. Gary Roberts, c'est ma carte ranked. Webb, Demko, Nanette, Riley Foot ici. Fait que ça, c'est mon club de hockey. Là, je veux rajouter Sakic, je veux rajouter Forsberg. Je veux rajouter Amachette. Oh! Hey Joe, si tu es libre à soir, on pourrait jouer en chaîne ensemble, dit Pascal. Je fais mon retour demain. Fait que j'ai des collectibles comme Cheese. J'ai le temps d'en loin. Ouais. On va voir comment j'ai collecteur. Ça. J'ai quasiment 15. Je vais faire quoi avec 13? Un bronze. Choice Players Pack. Un Silver Callis Pack non plus. Pas tant. Ok, j'en avais 2 là qui dorment. Fait que j'en ai 15. On va faire un Silver Callis. Callis. Comme ça. Ouais, ça, Joe, il dit qu'il revient tard du cheerleading de sa fille. t'as pas dit ça. Bon, on continue ça. On va grinder nos shits. On va se faire un calice. Un silver calice pack. Chalice. J'ai une 17. Je peux pas me payer rien qui a de la valeur. Fait que on y va de même. On continue. On va tenter de... 1 versus Jesse. Un quoi versus Jesse? Why, okay, what are you talking about, senor? Un 4 de 7. 1 vs Jesse. Moi contre toi. Cass. Ouais, mais là, je suis pas équipé. Ouais, mais j'ai hâte qu'on joue là, notre 4 de 7 contre Joe. Là. On va appeler ça notre 4 de 7 annuel. Là. Ils sont vraiment pas prêts encore. Moi, je suis pas tout à fait prêt, mais je suis pas loin. Mais j'ai hâte là, qu'on joue ce con. Ça va chier, chicken. Là, c'est quoi, tu vas me traiter de mauviette, mec? Comme Marty McFly? Ouais, on joue Joe, ça me dérange pas. C'est pas que ça, là. J'aurais mon club de base des Canadiens. Oh, Chris! Tabarnak! Ok, ouais, tu me sous-estimes, le chum? Ouais, on jouera ça, Joe. En fin de semaine, là. Mettons, c'est quand tu veux jouer ça? Ah, j'ai pas peur, là. C'est juste que... Je sais que tu as des grosses cartes, là. Tu veux jouer ton club de base du Canadien. Là, une game, je peux pas, Joe, tristement. Parce que là, il se dit travailler à 3 heures. Puis là, il faut que je fasse un téléphone business. Puis après ça, on va se trade up à l'épicerie. Acheter de la bouffe. Puis aussi faire des canettes. Là, j'ai beaucoup trop de canettes, là, sur mon balcon. Fuck. C'est quoi ça, fuck? What's that mean? Fuck. Fuck. De toute façon, je vais dire de fuck, donc, fuck. Ah, c'est ça, c'est à cause du clé. Tu sais, je suis pas toujours... Ah, c'est ça, chicken. Je suis pas toujours plus vite à comprendre, là, comme quand je t'avais écrit, tu me feras un signe. Là, tu m'envoies un signe. C'est comme, comment ça, tu m'envoies un signe? Ouais, Pascal, tu vas voir ça, là, mais pas là, mais faut toujours on va essayer de se fitter pour jouer gamer, là. À bientôt, là. À soir, c'est... À soir, Joe? Bon, j'ai dit ça une gamer à soir. Ça va être cool, ça. Ouais, c'est cool. Ça me vient, t'es d'Europe. Ouais, à soir, si ça te tente, on va faire gamer. Ça, là, vient d'être retiré de la table. Quand ça, là, fait retiré de la table. Voyons, toi, c'est toi le chicken, finalement? Tu me vois là avec Monsieur Hockey, là, pis t'as peur, c'est ça? C'est comme de te repenser à ton affaire, te disant non, ça marche pas, là. On peut pas affronter Jess avec Goldie House. Là, t'es retiré de la table, voyons donc. You've got to be kidding me, tu te peins ma tête, là. Pense ça à soir, Joe, ça te tente pas à soir, également. À une heure de prédéterminée. Et, moi, je te promets que j'en scorerai pas plus que 4 avec Gord dans la game. Fait qu'à 4, j'arrête de scorer avec Gord. C'est comme ça marche, merde. T'as le droit de jouer ce soir. Si, ça fait mal. Ouais. Ben, je peux pas jouer en shell, Joe. Il n'y a pas de règlement. Ma femme m'a pas encore empêché de jouer à hot. J'ai le droit de jouer à hot, mais elle aussi, il faut qu'elle puisse jouer à hot avec son équipe. Fait faut comme qu'on joue égal. Ben, je peux jouer à hot. Fait que c'est juste le shell, là. Le shell, c'est l'ennemi, là. Fait que... Puis il vient avec restriction, mais le hot vient avec pas avec restriction. Je pense qu'ils avaient dit on va faire d'autres choses tabarnak, fait qu'il arrête ça. Hein. Mais tu sais, normalement, j'ai le droit de jouer à tellement laid, hein, quand un enfant de 8 ans. J'ai pas le droit de jouer, ma maman veut pas. Ah ben, c'est vrai que j'ai abusé dans le secteur. J'ai dépassé mon couple, la femme entreprise. C'était pas normal, des fois, que ma femme se lève. Que moi, j'étais encore debout. C'est pas long que la femme se lève à 2 heures du matin. Ok, c'est ça, là. Ok, oui, je peux jouer à hot, là. On peut même faire des objectifs en équipe. Je pense qu'on peut le faire à hot, là, en multiplayer. Ça des défis, là. Fedorov, tu vas bien faire ça. Oh! Ah, monsieur Hockey, monsieur Hockey. Goalie hard, bébé. C'est goal. Ah, c'est ça, parfait ça, Joe. Je sais qu'ils vont tourner le système qui a hot, là. Bon. Sunday.
Get to the puck first, and listen, this is a lot of fun to play and when you're in the offensive end because it is a playground right now.
Objectif, on a gagné la Coupe à Superstar en étant invaincu. C'est des objectifs. Oh, grave. Big two drag shot. Sergei Fedorov. Excellent joueur de hockey de la patrie Russie. C'est le meilleur Russie. Hey, babe. Monsieur Hockey. Hello. Joe est venu me challenger. Ouais, c'est awesome, hein? Là, il a marqué « T'as le droit de jouer? » Point d'interrogation. J'ai dit « Ouais, j'ai le droit de jouer à hot. » C'est ça, parce que je suis comme un enfant, faut me gérer du matin. Ouais, un enfant, plus facile à gérer. Bon, mais j'ai expliqué là, que j'avais perdu ma licence de Shell, là, ça fait longtemps que je l'ai perdu. C'était à cause c'était playoff. Là, t'étais en vacances, fait que j'ai pu gâter plus. Mais c'est ça, là, moi... Ben, à hot, je peux jouer, là. Tu sais, le mois de Joe, on jouerait peut-être un 4 de septembre, mais tu sais qu'on jouerait Game 1, maintenant. Là, lui, il était partant pour jouer là, mais là, c'est ça, je disais, faut qu'on aille, je passe mon téléphone, faut qu'on aille à l'épicerie. Ouais, c'est ça. C'est à soir. Ah, ça, c'est montant, de quoi tu parles? Oh oui, ça va être du montant, c'est ça. Ouais. Ça devrait exiger une carte 83 au moins à chaque fois que tu allumes. Je vois pas en fait ton message. Chose gâte, là. Attends une minute. Là, c'est parce que j'ai des bugs avec mon live, chérie. Je pourrais aller voir les commentaires. Il load pas sur mon sel. Ok, c'est bon. C'est réglé. C'est parce que j'ai des bugs. Ça devrait exiger une carte 83 au moins à chaque fois que tu allumes le PS5. Ah, c'est vrai, Joe. Ouais, je le ferme jamais, le PlayStation. Fait que je serais pas si près. Genre, on le ferme quand on va se coucher, mais après ça, on le laisse ouvert. Fait que j'ai l'air de quelqu'un, genre, qui est tout le temps en ligne. Hein? C'est ce qui est pas fait, celle-là. Ouais, fait que je pourrais jouer à Hot, Joe. Je peux jouer contre à Hot, là. Si t'es pas trop check-in, là, on peut se faire Game 1, là, quelque part à soir. On va se tenir au courant de ça, là. Je vais le mettre sur mon temps, comme ils ont dit, parce que on joue un temps égal à Hot. Parce qu'il faut qu'elle fasse ses affaires aussi dans son compte, là. Il a son équipe de hockey. Fait que, ouais. T'as-tu une équipe des Nords? Ben, non, j'ai juste mon équipe là. J'ai pas, genre, tous les joueurs des Nordiques, tu sais, j'ai Comme tu as vu, j'ai Stachny, j'ai Fedorov, Gord. Ça, c'est mon seul équipe. Là. Pour ça, j'ai un line-up event là, qui me sert juste pour les objectifs. Ouais, quoi? Ouais, ben. Ouais, enfin, ouais, mais je finis ma game, là. Je suis en 3e période. Ouais, fait que, non, c'est ça, mon seul line-up, c'est celle-là, Joe. Puis j'ai mon line-up d'event avec lequel je jouais tantôt, là. J'ai Gretzky, Chelios, Tara, Fedorov, et compagnie. Ah. Non, c'est Gretzky. C'est 10 heures, les longues. Oh! Ouais, ça te tente-tu le gamer à soir, toi? Ouais, tu m'as tranquille, mais là, c'est pas bon.
Wow, James, was he ever dialed in that sequence of saves? I mean, 1, 2, multiple saves here. His D's got to help him out.
Ben, tu pourrais jouer avec ton vrai line-up, là. Je sais que t'as beaucoup de grosses cartes avec des gros overalls, là. On est 87, toi, dans ton équipe? Là, j'ai pas ça, là. Fedorov, c'est mon plus haut à 86. Parce que j'ai pas tant fait de mixage de ligne. Faut payer même attention à ça. Oh. Ouais. Bah, tu sais, j'ai une équipe respectable, là, quand même, je pense. Tu commences que tu veux. T'as un 89. C'est qui ton 89? Bah, Joe Sakic? Ah, Batman.
He needs to settle in and find a way to create some momentum for his team. But on the other side of the puck, I mean, the Florids have to contribute offensively, and they can only do that if there's a sense of urgency to their game.
Il y a McKinnon qui en a commencé à monter le Rainer aussi. David, ça, man. Ah, monsieur. Ouais, je peux te battre pareil avec ton gars de squad, là. C'est facile. Dérange pas. Ouais, attends, chérie. Ah, ma femme qui a fini de travailler, là. Elle est à bout, Cathy. Ouais. J'ai pété à moi, par exemple. J'ai pas de chat et pas de chérie. Peut-être. Putain, ça en va seul. Pour me battre, ça, la manette. Pour me battre, faudrait sûrement que tu donnes la manette à Isaac. Ah, es-tu baveux, ben? Il a dit, pour me battre, faudrait sûrement que tu donnes la manette à Isaac. En blanc dit. Ouais, en blanc dit que t'es que moi. Et Pascal dit, Jesse, hier, j'ai traité Joe de petit chat. Correct? Non, de Joe, ça va me faire de la peine de te battre avec ton gars du squad, là. Ça va me faire de la peine de te battre avec ton gars du squad. Peut-être un petit peu baptisant, là, je sais pas. C'est là, c'est ça qui est tout caché. Non, tu viens l'année passée, puis l'ordre. Femme, arrête de te plaindre. C'est à mon tour d'avoir pre-order cette année. Hein, on rotationne. Oui, rotationné, señor. Bon, on va voir ce que ça m'a donné. Je suis au niveau 12. Ouais, on va le fermer dans 2 secondes. Je vais voir si j'ai des récompenses, on va hésiter. Ok, on fait pari celui qui perd met le chandail de l'autre pendant Chris. Tu parles du 4 décès au complet, Joe?
C'est du Canadien, hein?
Ouais, c'est qui veut me voir gâcher du CH, c'est terrible. Il est porté pour ta fête dans le club, là.
Oui, il va t'en acheter un comme cadeau de Noël, il va t'en souper ici.
Ouais, c'est ça. L'humiliation. Ok, c'est pas là. Je vais voir la fin du message. Non, pourquoi faire arrête, babe, là. Donne-lui pas d'idée à lui, là. Ah, hot. J'ai pas vu pour le moment, pour le semaine, ouais. Tu parles, faudrait porter le shirt. J'ai ce message-là, pas plus, j'ai pour me battre, faudrait sûrement sur la manette à Isaac. J'avais Pascal avec son corps de petit chat. Puis là, c'est marqué dans Hot, mais j'ai vu qu'il t'avait marqué un défi que le perdant porte le shirt de l'autre équipe, genre.
Moi, ça doit être ça.
Ouais.
Parce qu'après ça, il est marqué dans Hot.
Dans Hot, ouais, c'est ça, dans Hot, ok.
C'est à mon corps, bon.
Ouais. Fait que j'ai Sylvain Calis pas contre. Fait que, au moins, ouais, ben, Joe, là, ça, c'est, ouais. Mais là, nous écoute. Ouais. Tu devrais-tu jouer gamer? Après le 4 de 7. Le 4 de 7, il se passe, là, sur la saison complète. Le Game 2 peut avoir lieu le mois prochain, là. Ou, tu sais, whatever. Ça c'est pas pire, ça? Fais-tu ça de même? Tant que bon, mais je partage. Je trouve qu'il y a de bonheur à faire ça.
Ben, on vient de commencer les équipes.
Ouais.
Il n'y a pas d'entraîneur comme Jordan.
Nomme pas de nom, babe.
Je n'en ai pas nommé. Il a dit comme Jordan.
Non, mais ouais, ça me tenterait, moi. Let's go, Izad, dit Pascal. Izad, je mêle pas de tes affaires. Encourage-la pas, Pascal, là. C'est pas bon pour personne. Ouais, Joe, je serais partant, là, quand tu veux. Là, faut qu'on. Ouais, faut qu'on. Je fasse mon téléphone. Fait qu'il faut que je mette fin au live, mais tiens-moi au courant, Joe, par Messenger, là, si tu veux jouer à soir à Game 1 ou quelque chose, ou qu'on se book ça pour bateau. Fait que, there you go. Fait qu'on s'en revoit tantôt, là. Merci d'avoir été là. Salut, chum, bye.